Since they began 150 years ago, the emblem, the logo of Aston Villa Football Club. Villa, who haven't beaten a fellow Premier League club in the FA Cup in almost a decade, and my eyes drawn towards the West Ham team, who are coming out for the first time under Graham Potter. They've got into a huddle, and it's been a sustained huddle. It feels a lot has been said in there. New manager comes in, there's always the chance of a bounce, there's always the chance of a fresh start, and Graham Potter will certainly hope for that here.
Yeah, he will say to his players, listen, it's my first game, I've not had you for very long. I'm here to see what you've got. What can you offer me? Who wants the shirt the most? That's basically what it is. And West Ham here, they've started off in the setup here. Everybody's just come to the right-hand side.
So whether they're going to try a big charge of the Light Brigade at kick-off as Lucas Paqueta rolls it all the way back to the goalkeeper Fabianski back in the team tonight. One of three changes by Graham Potter from the side that was selected by Julian Lopetegui for the final time at Manchester City the weekend. West Ham, who really went out with a whimper under Lopetegui. 9 goals conceded in their last 2 games under the Spaniard, but now it's the new dawn. This is officially the Graham Potter era. We're underway. West Ham with Fabianski in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Kilman and Scholes. Oliver Scholes in defence. So we heard Kevin Nolan singing his praises. A young player who's hoping to do well today. Souček alongside Alvarez in the midfield, and Kudus, Paqueta and Somerville behind Fulkrug as West Ham come on their first attack of the evening. And this is Paqueta, and he shoots from miles out, and it fizzes across the goal and not too far away at all. And that's an impact. And look at Graham Potter down there, hands above his head, applauding that. That's what he wants to see from his new charges.
Yeah, it was really good work down the right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka just knowing full well he can get there. You know what? I've got a screen in front of me here. Paqueta strikes the ball not too far away from the corner box, the right-hand side of the corner box, across the keeper, nearly. It's about 2 or 3 yards away from that top corner. Catches it with his laces. That would have been an amazing goal.
An incredible start. There was only 40 seconds on the clock when that went inches wide. There is an early goal at Wycombe Peterborough. Alan Paul.
There is. Brandon Hanlon has put Wycombe Wanderers a goal up here. Really nice finish off the right side of the box, but an even better story. Hanlon, who struggled with injury all season, his first goal of the season. Wycombe 1, Portsmouth 0.
Thanks very much, Aaron. So 0-0 here at Villa Park. First of 2 meetings between these sides in the next fortnight or so. They'll meet again here in the Premier League the weekend after next. As Fletch said, no replays this evening. This is going to be decided here one way or the other. Extra time penalties if required. We do have goal line technology in operation, but there is no VAR in the third round of the FA Cup. That's only going to be used from the 5th round onwards. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who has played in the last 2 FA Cup finals, both of them Manchester derbies. He has it right-hand side of the West Ham defence. Gives the ball into Mavropanos, the former Arsenal man, and he'll help it across to the left-hand side to Max Kilman, former Wolves player. Here at Villa Park this evening, where the floodlights are up to their maximum wattage, beaming down onto the pitch. West Ham playing from left to right. Crescencio Somerville tries to flick it onto Kudus, but it's cut out by Maatsen. Maatsen, who Villa spent a lot of money in the summer, but he's not started many games. Only 1 Premier League start for Chelsea. He's come in and he has played, I think, all but 2 of the matches he's played so far for Aston Villa has been as a substitute. So tonight is an opportunity for Ian Maatsen, the Dutch defender, to make an impact. He's got to keep close tabs on Kudus, who loses the ball here. Tielemans tries to stretch, and a heavy collision on a goal line with Souček, but both players bounce back up to their feet, and it'll be a throw into Aston Villa, left full-back position for them. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, West Ham making the pitch as big as possible. I mean, Wan-Bissaka's getting forward as quick as he can and as high as he can. And on the left-hand side, you've got Scholes as well doing the same. So 2 centre-halves making the pitch big, 2 full-backs making the pitch big as well. So a lot of running around early doors for that for this Villa side.
Lots of FA Cup history between them. They've won the Cup 10 times between them. Unai Emery, who made his name really in football management as a cup winner. All those Europa Leagues he won with Sevilla. Can he engineer a big performance for Aston Villa in the FA Cup this season as Kudus plays it out to the left-hand side? Young Scholes will come forward. He only turned 19 last month. Oliver Scholes, 1 senior appearance in the Europa Conference League group stage win against Steaua Bucharest 2 seasons ago as a very young teenager, and he has made 2 substitute appearances in the Premier League this campaign. But first start for him tonight as West Ham play it down the left-hand side, and flag is raised because Fulkrug had strayed into an offside position. Flag went up, referee acknowledges it, but Tim Robinson, who's in charge tonight, decides play can continue. There's no need to hold up the play unnecessarily there. And Tyrone Mings will bring the ball out from the back. Villa defending the Holt end here in this first half. 5 line for the BBC. Start of a really busy FA Cup weekend. We've got 11 FA Cup commentaries across the weekend on 5 Live and Sports Extra. Tomorrow we'll bring you Bristol City against Wolves as the early kick-off. You can listen to Liverpool against Accrington Stanley on Sports Extra. At 3 o'clock it's Brentford against Plymouth Argyle. There's 33 league places between them. At 5:30 Leeds against Harrogate Town. 68 league places between them. And Manchester City Salford is on Sports Extra tea time tomorrow as Villa come forward here. Matson receives it from Tyrone Mings and immediately sends it back to his captain on the halfway line. Unai Emery wagging his finger down below. He wants it played directly forward more often from his team as they do come forward now with Boubacar Kamara. He'll receive it back with Tielemans near the centre circle. Short ball into the feet of Ross Barkley, who's good form lately. He's been in the goals too for Villa as it's cut out by Crescencio Somerville, and Unai Emery will play ball boy for an Aston Villa throw in near the halfway line.
Just feeling each other out at the moment. Villa having the ball in the middle of the park in that central third, just trying to find a way through this. What we've got here, like a 4-5-1 at the moment, with Fulkrug just staying at the top. Really keeping it nice and tight. West Ham not allowing Villa to go through the centre of the pitch.
Matson crossing position on the left-hand side, sends it in low, but he's offside as he received the ball. The flag was raised on the far side. Steve Meredith is the assistant over there wearing orange, and he put his flag up promptly.
Yeah, he shouldn't be offside. I mean, you can see along the line Tyrone Mings is coming forward with his left foot. He pings it into Matson. Now Matson's in a great position. He's looking down the line. You should never be offside. Give yourself a yard. Opened himself out. Put a great ball in, but he's got to be a bit more aware of where that West Ham line is, because that ball he put in was very, very dangerous.
Villa beat West Ham when these sides met in the Premier League in August. You might remember Amadou Onana scored in his debut inside 4 minutes. Lucas Paqueta equalised with a penalty before half-time, and then John Duran came off the bench to grab a winner. John Duran, who tonight serves the last of his current suspension for that red card that he picked up on Boxing Day against Newcastle. Mavropanos near the halfway line. Plays it to his left to Kilman. Villa playing from right to left. West Ham left to right. It's launched out towards the left wing where Scholes had gone forward, and he's challenged immediately by Matty Cash, and the ball goes out of play for a throw-in to West Ham. Very early stages, Dion, but can you notice anything different that Graham Potter has brought into his team?
Yeah, they've been a lot more secure with the ball. I'm seeing the concentration on the faces of the West Ham players, making sure their pass gets to their teammate. There's no sloppy passing at the moment, making sure they pick the right pass at the right weight, keeping the ball.
Well, last season West Ham lost at this stage of the FA Cup. They were beaten by Championship club Bristol City in the third round. This month, 6 years ago, Graham Potter was in charge at Swansea and they knocked out Aston Villa, tonight's opponents at this stage of the FA Cup. Both coaches out on the edge of their technical area, both animated. I was pleased when I saw the lineups come out, just 3 changes each, including the goalkeepers. You know, it's nice when the Premier League clubs take it seriously.
Yeah, it's important, this one, Fletch. It really is. I mean, not just the game, but...
Fletch?
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not allowing that. No, not allowing that. No.
I seen your dress sense and I thought that must be Fletch. It's got to be Fletch. I just believe that they're... And I'm right to take it seriously, not just the game. The FA Cup is important to the players, the managers, both managers. I know we've only got Graham back this game lately, and I think Unai Emery knows this competition well. They both want to do well in it. They really do.
There's always talk this time of the year about whether there's a disrespect of the FA Cup and the lineups that managers choose to do. But it should be said as a long ball is played forward and it bounces away from Ollie Watkins and gratefully received by Lucas Fabianski. Villa went very direct there, but the ball bounced up on the cold surface here and into the arms of Fabianski back in the team tonight.
It was a lovely ball into Ollie Watkins, and Ollie Watkins just tried to spin Kilman, nearly did. It bounced through to Fabianski, but I just think that's the ball that you can play when all those short passes have gone.
Slip by Konza. Ball is flicked on by Fulkrug for Kudus, and he's played a nice ball in front of Crescencio Somerville. He'll step into the penalty area, right-hand side. Low ball, hit for Paqueta, and West Ham United get off to a perfect start. Welcome to the Graham Potter era. We've only had 8 minutes at Villa Park, and that was a really well-worked goal. There was crisp movement and passing, and Paqueta with a solid finish. His 4th goal of the season. He plays some air guitar in celebration by the corner flag. Aston Villa 0, West Ham 1. What a start for Graham Potter.
Yeah, it's a great start, and it's a lovely ball as well. It's a crossfield ball. It really, Somerville's there on the right wing. It's a ping across the pitch. He takes it in his stride. He uses his chest to keep it in front of him. He's now got Maatsen in front of him. He doesn't take him on, but he edges him into the box. He waits, and he literally plays a square ball across the box. The ball's about 2 yards away from the penalty spot. Paqueta lets it run across his body, and he steers it into the gap where the keeper's just come from. No power, just direction, composure. It's a beautiful finish. It's a great start from West Ham.
Lucas Paqueta, who had an early chance here tonight, who scored a penalty against Villa on the opening weekend of the campaign, and he has kick-started the Graham Potter era for West Ham. It's just the beginning that he would have wanted. It's been a whirlwind of a week. He's brought in, he's replaced Lopetegui, straight into the thrust of an FA Cup tie on a Friday night at Cold Villa Park. And for the boyhood Aston Villa fan, I mean, I doubt if he'll celebrate it at the Holt End more excitedly than that in his life to this point, because, you know, it's been a long time. April 2023 is a long time ago. He's been looking on from the sidelines. Graham Potter's back as a manager.
Yeah, he is, and they're out of possession now. They're back into that 5-4-1, making sure that there's no space in the middle of the park, but that will have shocked Villa. It really would have done. Good goal, though. Very well worked goal.
Really well taken. Somerville's pace and unselfishness in the build-up was key too. Villa coming forward. Kamara midway inside West Ham United territory. Villa playing from right to left as we look down at the black shirts tonight. Mings gives it to Morgan Rogers, back to the feet of Ezri Konsa, into the midfield for Yuri Tielemans. All these illustrious names, plenty quality in the Villa team, but they've been rocked for sure. And West Ham regained possession on the edge of the penalty area, but Fulkrug can't hold on to it. Barkley was in to take it back off him again. And Kamara, who's got the short sleeves and the gloves tonight, will give it to Mings on the left-hand side. Further out to Maatsen, white boots, up against Somerville, who's back helping out Wan-Bissaka. Maatsen very close to the sideline, allows the ball out of play because he knows it'll be a Villa throw, and he takes it quickly to Rogers, and back helping out the defence was Edson Alvarez, who clears it out of the penalty area but not fully away, and it does eventually go out for a throw into Aston Villa, who trailed by a goal here in the FA Cup at 5 Live. And there's another goal at Wickham against Portsmouth. Aaron Paul.
And Portsmouth trailed by 2, Wickham 2, Portsmouth 0. Sonny Bradley signed for the club 4 days ago. He scored his first goal for them this evening. Portsmouth failing to deal with a free kick, and it was Bradley from point blank range to divert past the goalkeeper. Wickham 2, Pompey 0.
Portsmouth, who of course won the FA Cup in 2008, they're 2-time winners in their history, but they've had a poor run of form lately, and they find themselves 2-0 down tonight in that 7:45 kick-off at Wickham. This is an 8 o'clock game at Villa Park, and Aston Villa have got the first corner of the evening. Villa, who trail West Ham by Lucas Paqueta's fine goal to 0. Here comes the corner. Tielemans in swinger, met though by the head of Thomas Souček in front of the goalkeeper. Kamara tried to battle from the edge of the penalty area, but West Ham have cleared away, and then Maatsen, the deepest lying Villa defender, will head it back from near the halfway line to the goalkeeper. There was a collision off the ball there. Nicholas Fulkrug has gone down. Did you see that, Dion?
I'm not sure if there was contact, but he seems to be holding his groin or something. He just stopped running. The ball was cleared by West Ham. He started to sprint onto it to put pressure on the defenders, and then he just pulled up. He puts his hands up in the air, starts hopping. I think it's his groin.
Yes, we often say with it's a rather crass term, but when someone gets the hamstrings, like a sniper is taking them out. It's like that. He's sprinting along, and then suddenly he just bolts up as if he's been hit by a jolt of lightning. And you would imagine, by the concern and how quickly the referee held up play and how quickly they brought on the physios, that could be it for Nicholas Fulkrug this evening. He started 3 of the last 4 Premier League games. His career since coming to the Premier League, and you've got to remember, he was the starting centre forward for Germany at the Euros last summer. They were hoping for really big things for him, but he's been impeded by injuries under Julian Lopetegui, and now in Graham Potter's first game too. They're still working on him down on the deck. We get a chance to view the replays of the goal again, and West Ham fans who'll feel they're due a bit of joy. They absolutely celebrated that one.
Yeah, they didn't. You know what? They've had the ball more than Villa for the first few minutes of this game. and they've just taken their time. They've waited to get Somerville in the right position, and he was very, very patient. Maatsen wasn't closing him down quick enough, and he just found his way into the box. Then he lifted his head, and you found there was a little gap between the defence and the midfielders, and he just left it in there for Paqueta, and he came on and with that wonderful left foot just side-footed it in the back of the net. It was an easy goal to score. I mean, Fulkrug now is limping off with help from the physios.
That's the end of the evening for Nicholas Fulkrug, so his misfortune presents an opportunity to Danny Ings, who is a former Aston Villa player, and he will get to come on very early here tonight against his old team. So Fulkrug departs, holding his upper leg and very slowly tiptoeing his way towards the sideline, so that looks a painful one for him. And Danny Ings will get the opportunity. Came on as a late sub against Manchester City last time out. That was the 400th appearance of his career. Great goal scorer, Danny Ings, over the span of his career. He's only ever scored 3 goals in the FA Cup, and he will come on to lead the line now for Graham Potter. Is it not an ideal start this for the new coach, to lose your starting centre forward so early?
No, it's not, and it's been a really good start. And I mean, Danny Ings is one of those players that, given the time and space and starts in any football team, he will score goals. And he's coming back to one of his old sides, and as a centre forward who's done that before, you always want to try and get yourself on the score sheet with extra motivation.
So we're back underway. West Ham United leading Aston Villa 1-0 here at Villa Park tonight. This is 5 Live for the BBC. We've played quarter of an hour. Lucas Paqueta's goal separating them. Villa haven't offered anything of note in terms of attack. They've had one corner swung in. They've had an opportunity when Watkins ran through, but the bounce spun away from him into the arms of the goalkeeper. They've yet to have a proper attempt in the game. Barkley gives it back to Tyrone Mings under pressure from Kudos. He'll turn and roll it back to the goalkeeper Olsen. Robin Olsen, the Swedish international, preferred to the World Cup winner, the Copa America winner, Emi Martinez, former FA Cup winner in the past, Emi Martinez with Arsenal, as is the West Ham United goalkeeper tonight, Lucas Fabianski, who also played for Arsenal in a winning FA Cup final in the past. Olsen rolls it short to Mings. No great urgency about Villa here in the early stages. Maatsen tries to play it forward, too short, cut out by Wan-Bissaka, and then Souček comes across it. He's hurt himself as the last touch comes off the Czech international, goes out for a throw-in to Aston Villa, but Souček slow to get back to his feet. Unai Emery thought he was going to be up against a fellow Basque this evening. He and Julian Lopetegui both hail from his, I'm going to absolutely mangle the pronunciation, Guipúzcoa, I think it's pronounced. It begins with a G, but I'm pretty sure it's a Guipúzcoa, which is the province in Spain that they both come from. But of course Lopetegui has been replaced, and it is Graham Potter's team now, and they lead here. We're back underway. Souček okay, pressure on Rodgers by Crescencio Somerville, but then they double up with Kudos. Rodgers going to lose it here. This is Kudos into the penalty area. Villa in trouble, pulls it back again, Paqueta, but just as he tried to shoot, Matty Cash bravely slid in and made a very important block, and that was almost a carbon copy and almost a West Ham second goal.
Yeah,
Dublin.
Absolutely, and Somerville's the one that started the press on Maatsen. He's seen, it was actually who was it? It was Morgan Rodgers. He had his back turned. Somerville wouldn't stop chipping away at him, and as the ball left him, Kudos joined in as well. They nicked it off him, and the same chance arises again. I'll tell you what I could see here. If I had a bird's eye view of this West Ham side, the gaps and the spaces in between the players is absolutely identical. They seem to have worked on this over the last couple of days, and it's working for them now.
Well, a thing that we've seen regularly since kick-off is Graham Potter standing there with arms above his head applauding, and he's basically saying, yes guys, this is what I want you to do.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what they would have done as well. You can see when they're not in possession, you can see that they're all turning their shoulders at the same time. The gaps and the distances between the midfield and the defence are very, very good. There's no way through. That's what he wants.
And Julian Lopetegui wasn't given very long in the job, but there was a cloud over the club. There was very little smiling, there was very little joy, and it just feels like, you know, the change of furniture, bringing in a different voice in the dressing room, is having an instant impact for West Ham. Of course, they've got to keep it up now. They lead early here on 5 Live on this FA Cup third round weekend. Plenty live football to come across both BBC radio and television. There are 4 live BBC television games over the course of the weekend, and you can get details of all of that on the BBC Sport website. But tonight here on 5 Live, Aston Villa are behind at home, and Unai Emery's team are yet to spark on what is a cold evening. Olsen just steps out of his penalty area, wearing all green, away to our right-hand side. Gives it short to Tyrone Mings. His left-footed pass short to Maatsen, who's immediately closed down by Somerville. And Villa have to retreat back inside their own half once again. And Unai Emery, who's animated at the best at times, but he's agitated down there, and he's sort of hopping and pointing, and he's clearly not happy with what he's seen. And Maatsen's given it away again, and Somerville comes in to steal. And that's 3 times in the game that West Ham have been able to win the ball cheaply on this right channel as they come forward.
Yeah, it's very clever the way that West Ham have been set up here. They're so close together in the middle of the pitch, allowing Villa to go down the side, but they're not coming out of that shape until one player sets the press or starts the press. Really regimented, and when they do lose the ball, they all filter back into the shape of a 5-4-1 and wait for the right time to press.
Villa win possession there, and there's urgency from the crowd, wanting them to get it forward quicker. Rodgers tries a flick on for Maatsen, but it's not a good pass.
It's a great flick, I've got to say. It's a great pass into Rodgers. You're absolutely spot on, Connor. A great ball into Rodgers. Rodgers just turns it around the corner. Maatsen has stopped his run, otherwise he would have been in on goal. Good little bit of play from Rodgers, but Maatsen just didn't read it.
Maatsen, who's been under pressure defensively and still settling into the game here tonight. 1-0 to West Ham. Kilman plays it over the top, too far in front of Scarles, and that will run all the way through back to the goalkeeper, Robin Olsen, who turned 35 on Wednesday. Former Everton goalkeeper, of course. 75 caps for Sweden over the years, but very much second choice to Emi Martinez. Tyrone Mings under pressure from Kudus retreats again, and they're not coming out comfortably from the back in these early 20 minutes are Aston Villa. Now they've got a problem because off the ball Ross Barkley's gone down, and he says to the referee he wants treatment too, and a little bit like Fulkrug, there didn't seem to be any opponent near him when he decided he was going to hit the deck. No,
it's his calf. I mean, about 5 seconds, 10 seconds before the game was stopped, actually he was feeling his calf, he was limping slightly, and then he just felt it was too much. Now the 2 physios have gone on. I mean, Barkley's not really had a kick, Tielemans not really had a kick, and that's all down to the shape there, overloading that midfield. None of those midfielders in black shirts tonight, and Villa are in black shirts, have had a chance to influence this game. Ollie Watkins is staying as a centre forward. He has nothing into his feet at all. Morgan Rodgers is trying to influence the game, but at this present time, I think Mings has had most touches of the ball.
So another delay in play here. We're almost at the midway point of the first half. 1-0 to the visitors, West Ham. The goal from Lucas Paqueta. While we've got a break in play here, it feels an opportune moment to bring Aaron Paul back in at Wickham against Portsmouth. Aaron.
7.5 minutes gone here to 7.5 minutes. The break, in fact, I'm so cold, Connor. It's -5 here in the foothills of the Chilterns. Wickham 2, Portsmouth 0. The home side leading through goals from Brandon Hanlon, and a first goal for the Wanderers from Sonny Bradley against his former club, nodding home after Luke Leahy's free kick. Portsmouth, well, they dominated the opening spells of possession, they squandered a good chance, and they're struggling now very much on the back foot. Wickham 2, Portsmouth 0. Another weather report to come soon, Connor.
Yeah, what is your strategy, Aaron? We haven't started here. Are you a sort of a one big heavy layer or several thin layers? Okay. What's your tactics?
Right. I've got t-shirt, bottom layer hoodie, top layer hoodie, big coat, and that's it.
4, okay.
Although,
that's why you're feeling cold, mate. You need more than that.
I'm very impressed though with Gareth McCleary, the veteran Wickham Wanderers winger. Short sleeves, short shorts, short socks, hardcore. Gloves on. Very good.
Thank you, Aaron. Good. More from Aaron shortly. Back underway at Aston Villa. This is 5 Live, FA Cup third round weekend. Villa 1-0 down against visitors West Ham on what is Graham Potter's first game in charge. By the way, FA Cup highlights, match of the day, 10:30 tomorrow night. Kelly Summers in the chair, and someone called Dion Dublin will be in the studio tomorrow. I hope you know about that, Dion.
Yes, I do know about that. Thank you very much for letting me know. That is in the diary. Excellent.
Here is Leon Bailey coming forward for Villa on the right-hand side. Back to Kamara, back to Konza. Esri Konza, who tonight is making his 100th appearance for Aston Villa under Unai Emery. Only Ollie Watkins has played in more games under the current manager. Tielemans almost slipped as he received the ball there. Bit messy from Villa. They hold on to possession, but they've got to go back to the centre circle. The home side playing right to left as we look down. This is Matty Cash. Villa in their black shirts tonight, their commemorative strip on what is almost to the day the club's 150th anniversary. Chance to come forward on the right hand side. Bailey Good trick feet from him, but he couldn't get back in balance to send it across, and young Oliver Scholes has done well against him and clears the ball away for West Ham. And now Bailey stays down, and he's got his head down on the turf, and the referee holds up play to see if he's going to need some treatment. He's holding his left ear, I think. Did he get a bang in the ear?
No, I just think he's embarrassed that he got the ball taken off him so easily. He tried to chop back on Scholes. Scholes watched the ball, took the ball away from him, and there's nothing on that at all. We've just seen the replay. Just very, very good defending. Really good defending.
Leon Bailey, the Jamaican who got his first goal of the season against Leicester here at the weekend, and a player who got into double figures in Premier League goals last season. He'll have felt that was overdue to get his first Premier League goal of this campaign. Player's going to restart with an uncontested drop ball. It's just presented down by referee Tim Robinson for Scholes to clear away, launches it long into the opposition half, and then it's touched by Maatsen back to the goalkeeper Olsen, away to our right hand side. West Ham of course proved themselves to be a good cup team season before last when they went all the way in the Europa Conference League under David Moyes, and you feel the club, while the priority of course is stabilising things in the Premier League, it would do everyone the world of good at London Stadium if West Ham could have a decent cup run here in the FA Cup. Camara tries to play the ball forward from the Villa midfield, but sliding in was Scholes again to put it out for a throw into Villa on the far side, which Matty Cash has taken quickly, looking for Morgan Rogers inside the penalty area. Then it's miscontrolled by Tielemans. Lucas Paqueta's back there, and he knew exactly what he was doing there. Lucas Paqueta, he waited for Tielemans to arrive, and the first sign of contact, down he went, knowing he'd get the free kick, and West Ham can clear the ball away. And that was street-wide shrewdness from the Brazilian Lucas Paqueta.
Yeah, he could have quite easily just cleared that upfield. Nobody upfield to receive the pass if he did do that, so he took the ball in, turned his back on Tielemans, took it to him, and Tielemans just nudged him in the back and he went to ground. I think when you're playing against a team like West Ham tonight and the way they are, the way they've set up, you've got to move a little bit quicker, move the ball around a little bit quicker. Then you've got to go for the diagonal because there's space in the pockets of the fullbacks as well. Get it into those areas quicker, and they've got to have the chance.
Aston Villa fans slightly concerned by this start tonight. The Paqueta goal, one of 3 shots the Brazilian has had in the game. Villa yet to have a proper shot of their own, and Villa have lost their last 6 FA Cup home games, but plenty of time tonight for them to try and get back into this one as a free kick is awarded to West Ham just inside their opponent's half. So this is wide on the left hand side. It's closer to the halfway line than it is to the edge of the penalty area. Villa got to hold a defensive line outside the box. They're trying to construct that at the moment. Danny Ings is staying in what is a blatant offside position in behind the defenders, but he'll make sure that he's back where he needs to be should the ball come his way as Crescencio Somerville floats it in. Header out, not quite fully away, and out it goes for a corner. So corner to West Ham on the right hand side. We played 27 minutes and it's Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1.
Yeah, it's not a bad balling actually. He's just gone with his laces. He's tried to ping it to the far post for Souček. I think it's headed out by Onana. Another corner here for West Ham. It's got to be an in-swing up. I think it's Scholes that's gone over from the left-hand side to come over to this right-hand side to whip this under the crossbar at the Holt end.
So it's going to be a West Ham United corner. How they'd love a second goal ahead of half-time to really rubber stamp the turn of a corner under new coach Graham Potter. Potter, whose final game as Chelsea manager was here at Villa Park. He was beaten by Aston Villa and he lost his job at Chelsea, and here he is resurrecting his career back at the same venue, but this time in front as Scholes sends in the corner. What a delivery that was towards the back post, comes down for Lucas Paqueta, who this time with loads of people around him. It was Edson Alvarez who got the final touch, and his attempt goes into the Holt end. There was no clean shot there. It was a forest of bodies between him and the target as everyone rushed out after the corner.
Yeah, just a loose ball. I mean, the cross isn't bad at all actually. It's whipped in with a bit of pace into that box, and it hits a load of bodies and Paqueta goes in. I think it's actually Alvarez that goes in. Mings goes in as well. They collide, and Mings does enough just to force the shot over the bar. But West Ham tonight, their quality is just a bit better. They're moving the ball faster when they have it, and they're squeezing and really putting these Villa players under pressure.
And speaking of that pressure, Tyrone Mings was coming out of the back there. Kudos pressed him. We're used to seeing this, attackers sprinting into the penalty area to charge down defenders, but Kudos was late and he caught Tyrone Mings after the ball was cleared, and he's just picked up the first yellow card of the game. So that was over eager from West Ham, but it is certain evidence of how they are unsettling their host tonight. They're giving Villa no time or space.
Absolute unsettling is the right word as well, because those Villa players are, when they do have time, they're playing the ball far too slowly. Move it quickly, take 1 and 2 touches. Otherwise, this really well set up team tonight that West Ham are going to move around the pitch quite easily in that shape they've been working on. They've not been tested at all because it's been too slow from Villa, far too slow.
Mohamed Kudus has to be careful now in a yellow card. He was sent off against Tottenham in October, a game he also scored in. Tielemans here for Villa. Now this looks an interesting ball. Over the top of Somerville, releasing Ian Maatsen down the left-hand side. Great touch from Maatsen, good recovery from Somerville. That was a great tussle between the two of them as Somerville puts it out for a corner. Corner to Aston Villa. Better from Unai Emery's team. Absolutely,
and that's what I said. A couple of short passes in that right back spot for Villa. Crossfield ball from Tielemans into Maatsen. They get a bit of pressure down the right-hand side. Corner for Villa. Better.
Corner's going to be taken by Yuri Tielemans. There's several substitutes warming up beside him. I don't think there's any chance of any of them coming on. They just want to warm up. You don't want to sit motionless on the bench if you don't have to tonight. Bailey gives it back to Tielemans after the short corner. Delivery that needed more elevation. It was cut out by the foreign of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Matty Cash launches it back in. Flag was raised, but the goalkeeper Fabianski was able to claim it ahead of everyone anyway. But who's that? That is Boubacar Kamara, who I think did he collide with the frame of the goal when he charged through? He's hurt himself somehow when he tried to run in and Fabianski claimed the ball. He was the player who was offside.
Well offside there, yeah. Just way forward, I think he just goes up with Fabianski, gets a little bit of a push from Souček, falls awkwardly, nothing wrong with that at all. He's up on his feet, everything's fine. Another West Ham player down.
Yeah. I was wondering, is it to do with the really cold temperatures? But we've had so many delays. You know, a knock is bad at the best of times, but on a cold night, I think a knock hurts you even more. This time it's Somerville, Crescencio Somerville, who is down, and 2 physios have run on from the West Ham medical staff to have a look at him. So look, while we've got a break in play, a reminder of the state of events here. Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1, Lucas Paqueta's 9th minute goal. The FA Cup action continues tomorrow on 5 Live. Bristol City against Wolves. Our coverage starts with Chappers from 11 a.m. It's a noon start at Bristol City. You've a choice of listing 12:15 start for Liverpool against Accrington Stanley, and that is on Sports Extra. 86 places between them in the league pyramid. Ian Dennis will be with you for the usual 3 p.m. round the ground service. Always a treat to listen to that on FA Cup third round day with so many games taking place concurrently. Brentford against Plymouth Argyle is our pick of the games, and then there's 2 games at tea time. You can listen to Leeds Harrogate Town on 5 Live. You can listen to Manchester City against Salford on Sports Extra, and I'd imagine there'll be quite a few Manchester United fans will go to cheer on Salford in that particular Manchester derby tomorrow.
Oh yes, be a full house. There'll be red everywhere, but will it be Salford or will it be United? We'll have to wait and see. Great game for them, isn't it? Great game for Carl Robinson, brilliant game.
Yeah. So coverage continues on Sunday. Tamworth against Tottenham, 96 places between them. That's the 12:30 start, and then at 3 o'clock it's Newcastle Bromley, 75 places between them. So much action to come over this FA Cup weekend. Somerville's left the field, but suggesting he may be coming back on. He's just in discussions with the physio down there. For the moment, West Ham will play with 10 men. They lead 1-0, the goal from their number 10, Lucas Paqueta. Dio.
I can't claim to have ever done a hamstring because I wasn't fast enough to do a hamstring, but I do know when it's this cold and the ball goes out of play and you do have stoppages, you do have to keep moving, otherwise that's the first thing that gets really tight and really short is your hamstring. Stay warm.
Somerville now stretching his leg, waiting for his invitation to come back on. Here is Kudus, lunge in from it's going to be a free kick, I think. Somerville is invited to come back onto the field of play, and that is an opportunity for West Ham to just resettle here. They've had a good start under Graham Potter. Just in the recent minutes, Villa begun to ask more questions here, and we can go back for another update at Wickham and with Aaron Paul.
Half-time, Wickham 2, Portsmouth 0. Goals from Brandon Hanlon and Sonny Bradley have Wickham in control here. Luke Lee's come closest to a third. Curling an effort just wide. Portsmouth struggling to lay a glove on the home side, with some players really slipping and struggling on what is a frozen surface. Wickham, though, good value for their lead at the break. They lead Portsmouth by 2-0.
And here come West Ham. Kudus shoots from well outside the penalty area, diving down to his right. Robin Olsen makes the save. That was on target, but it was a long way out and fizzing along the ground. It was save by Olsen. He didn't catch it the first time, but he was able to stretch out and get it.
And you know what the most frustrating thing about that is? Danny Ings would have thought to himself, why didn't I follow that in? It bounced off the keeper, there was a tap-in for him, and he just switched off.
Rodgers down the other end, poor touch, groans from the Villa fans. 1-0 to West Ham here on 5 Live. Somerville rolls it in front of Danny Ings, but too far ahead of him, and Ezri Konsa sprints back and rolls it back to Olsen. Villa trying to click up a gear here, trying to just step up the pace of the game a little bit. Mings has it, drags it under his studs, he's pointing, he wants teammates in different positions. It's slow from Mings, and that's adding to the frustrations of the Villa fans.
Yeah, I mean, Mings is right in front the dugouts here, and Somerville's still holding his right hamstring. Get it to Maatsen, test him. How's your hamstring?
Cash to Amadou Onana came on for the injured Ross Barkley. Both teams have been forced into early changes here tonight at Villa Park, with Fulcrum going off for West Ham. 10 minutes to go until the break, as Tyrone Mings gives it to the near touchline. Ian Maatsen up against Aaron Wan-Bissaka, releases it infield to Kamara, now across to Matty Cash. He's got a bit of space on the right hand side, so he'll bring it forward, lays it further down that right wing to Leon Bailey. Tielemans comes out close, but too many defenders there. Last touch comes off Scholes. It goes out for a goal kick. Villa thought they were going to get a corner, but big cheer for the travelling fans who were housed in that corner because they saw that was given as a goal kick. And Scholes has done well, the young 19-year-old who doesn't have much first team experience, but don't want to put the curse on him, but he's looked really comfortable in these opening 35 minutes.
Yeah, he has. He's putting himself into really good positions as well. Even though he's coming down the left-hand side for Villa, he's tucking in next door to his centre-halves as well. And when he gets the ball on the left-hand side, he's picking the right pass. He's choosing the right time when to make his tackles and to receive the ball. Looks decent, him.
Just 6 league places between these two. There's Danny Ings tries to get onto another through ball for West Ham, but Tyrone Mings beats him to it, helped out by Matty Cash. Villa have it back on the edge of their own penalty. Oh, what's Cash doing here? Now that was dangerous. He came infield, he almost lost it to Edson Alvarez. He continued his run all the way to the halfway line, then Bailey slips, and the referee blows the whistle. And did he slip or was he fouled? Certainly, I thought he just slipped there. Maybe the whistle was to hold up play just to see was he all right. He was a bit bandy on ice there. His legs gave underneath him, and down he went awkwardly. And I think there was concern from referee Tim Robinson. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't challenged by an opponent there. That was just a slip on the surface.
Yeah, it was. He seems to lose his footing. I mean, Matty Cash did great bringing the ball out, but he really pinged it into Bailey, and Bailey had to stop sharply because he had no help at all. He was that far forward. Tried to stop and wait for his team to catch him up. He stopped that sharp, he lost his footing and it looked awkward, looked like it might be a bad one, and Paqueta stopped the ball, called the referee in, and he's done very well to do that. I think he's up on his feet, Bailey. Yeah, he is.
It's been quite start-stop. We've had plenty delays for little injuries and niggles, and I think that's taken some of the flow out of West Ham's start to the game. Villa seeing more of the ball now, as Wan-Bissaka's the latest to hurt himself, and he's hobbling and coming to a halt. He's going to try and run that one off. Onana down the left-hand side, good ball into Rodgers, tried to turn smartly and couldn't bring it with him. Villa hold on to possession. Mings 20 yards outside the penalty area to his right-hand side to Ezri Konsa. Now further over to the right wing and Matty Cash. West Ham working hard, looking to impress the new manager Graham Potter, as Konsa short to Kamara, back to Cash again, triangular passing but in the central third, and that's not bothering West Ham at all. And Konsa gets it back inside the centre circle here.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you need game management from your teammates. Somerville's got a dodgy hammy. Wan-Bissaka's limping with his knee. Skipper's got to see that and go, right, get the ball to me, let me get it to the left winger. I want to see if these two are fit. Test them.
This is the 144th season of the FA Cup. The qualifying round started back in August. The FA Cup final will be on May 25th. Both these teams would love to be there as Rodgers' cross comes into the penalty area and it's too close to Fabianski, and that is a comfortable save there. So Unai Emery, who has never progressed beyond the 4th round of the FA Cup, he reached round 4 with Arsenal and with Villa, but he hasn't gone any further despite his success in European Cup competitions. In his Arsenal days he lost to West Ham in an FA Cup game at London Stadium. Declan Rice now of Arsenal scored the winning goal for West Ham that day, as here comes Tielemans, and that's a poor ball in front of Leon Bailey. Tielemans did great to get into the box, but it just needed a delicate touch and it ran away from Bailey, and that's frustrating for Aston Villa.
Yeah, Tielemans just edging his way into the box there, waiting and waiting for Bailey to go round his right shoulder. Bailey sprinting, Ollie Watkins is on, Morgan Rogers is on. He waits and waits and waits, and he plays the right pass at the wrong weight. Gets it all wrong. That was a chance to create at least an opportunity at goal.
Aston Villa, who are finishing a run of 3 home games in a row tonight. They drew at Brighton here, they beat Leicester. Tonight they are trailing to West Ham at the moment. After this, they've got 3 away games in a row, starting at Everton on Wednesday, and that'll be a big game with maybe David Moyes in charge of the Goodison Park club, given all the rumours that we're hearing so far. So it could be 2 games in a row that Villa come up against a team who are blooding a new boss. And they probably won't be delighted with that, given the boost that West Ham seem to have received here. As Mings plays the ball forward, looking for Tielemans, tries to control it, came off his shoulder. For a moment I thought he was going to try and hit that full on the volley. He tried to take it down and it ran away. He had to
take it on the volley. It was one of those crossfield balls. Tyrone Mings just leaves it over the centre-half's head, and Tielemans is coming onto it. He's only 15 yards out, you know. He's got to try and take that on the volley. Tries to take a touch.
It's such a difficult technique. It's coming over his shoulder. It's coming high. 99 times out of 100, he balloons in the crowd. But that one time, Dion, and we would talk about it for decades if it hit the back of the net.
You say it's difficult, Conor. I did it many times.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. For mere mortals, it's difficult, Dion. Great to have Dion Dublin tonight with us here on 5 Live. FA Cup third round Friday, 5 minutes to go to the break. West Ham off to a flyer under Graham Potter, but Villa improving gradually, yet to really trouble the goalkeeper, mind you. Onana's nearly lost it here to Kudus. Kudus is having a good game. He's hungry tonight. Mings comes forward, crashes into Crescencio Somerville, the biggest man on the pitch, hits the smallest man on the pitch. They both get back to their feet, and the referee gives the free kick to West Ham.
Yeah, it's Tyrone Mings. He's trying to be positive there. His touch was a little bit too heavy. Took him towards the edge of West Ham's box. Somerville was on his way as well. Like you say, big man against little man, and the little man got there first, and the big man clattered the little man. Never going to get away with that.
Tyrone Mings, who missed all of last season with the ACL injury. This is his 6th appearance in all competitions this campaign. Looking to impress. And he goes back into a defensive position as Fabianski, wearing yellow, takes the free kick from the edge of his penalty area for West Ham. Danny Ings jumps and wins it against Tyrone Mings, but then Kamara gets it for Villa, and then it's back to Kilman for West Ham. West Ham who are leading here by 1-0 on 5 Live, all the way back to Fabianski, who suffered concussion that game against Southampton not so long ago, missed the last 2 Premier League games, but they proved to be the last games under Julian Lopetegui, and he's back in for the first game in charge for Graham Potter for the Hammers tonight. Paqueta, who scored the goal tonight, stretching, can't get a clean touch of the ball, gives it away to Matty Cash. Cash in turns gives it away to Edson Alvarez, who's back in the left back position for West Ham, looks up, plays the ball towards Danny Ings, tries a little cushioned header, that goes straight to Ezri Konsa, back down the deck, and Villa have it, and the game beginning to increase in tempo here on a very cold night in Villa Park. I've got so many coats. I've put gloves in the jacket of one of them, Dion, and I cannot find the gloves because I've about 4 different coats, and that's 8 different pockets, and I've tried, and I'm going to have to wait till half time.
It is so cold. Our breath.
My fingers are frozen. Here is Amadou Onana, short ball to Boubacar Kamara. Kamara, the former Everton player, played for France in the most international. Onana, the former Everton player. This is Kamara, ball into Bailey, looking for Bailey. Dangerous ball across the 6-yard box, but Somerville was there to clear away. Good build up from Villa, but Watkins wasn't near it for the final touch. Ollie Watkins, who's due a goal. This is Scarles, under pressure from Watkins in the penalty area. The teenager, and then eventually no nonsense by Kilman, who kicks it out for a throw in. Villa are warming up, but they're running out of time to get this back on level ahead of the break. 2 minutes to half time.
I mean, they get the ball into a great area. Ollie Watkins on his heels, Maatsen at the far post on his heels. If they gamble.
Cash tries to send it across, challenged by Lucas Paqueta. Corner to Aston Villa.
Yeah, nice little time, little 5 minutes this from Villa. Moving the ball, little round the corner as well. Gets in, I think it was Tielemans, he puts it across the box, and Ollie Watkins isn't expecting it. That's the last thing you want to be thinking as a centre forward. Expect everything. Doesn't make his way in there. Maatsen doesn't make his way in there. There's a tap in to be had. It's a chance.
And set pieces are a big part of Villa's play. Only Arsenal have scored more set-piece goals in the Premier League this season. Leon Bailey, in-swinger, double-fisted punch by Fabianski, controlled well on the chest by Kudus on the edge of the area, tries to dribble away, nearly lost it. Lucas Paqueta played a long direct ball towards Danny Ings, that was cut out, and the tackles are beginning to fly here as a slide by Maatsen puts it out for a throw into West Ham near the halfway line.
Yeah, I can see that Kudus and Paqueta, the quality catalysts for West Ham.
Somerville offside, flag raised. Konza had it under control anyway, and that's a free kick to Villa on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, as I was saying, those two players there, Kudus and Paqueta are absolutely loving the way that they're playing tonight. They're getting more time on the ball. They're picking up great positions in that number 10 spot as well.
Here's Danny Ings, right wing for Villa. Ings, who came out for West Ham. Ings, who came on against his old Villa teammates in place of the injured Fulkrug, tries to play it in low towards Crescencio Somerville, but it's too close to Robin Olsen. Villa fans full of vocal encouragement here. They believe their team could get back on level terms by half-time, but we're about to find out what's going to be added on for the stoppages as Konza rolled to pass too far in front of Matty Cash, and Oliver Scott slides in and sends the ball back down the Aston Villa end of the field, back to the whole day.
That's a really good decision, you know, from the young lad at left-back. He's actually got Bailey. Bailey's makes a running behind him. I think the ball in front of Cash was too far, and he has to leave his man to make a decision. I can go and win this. Good decision making from the young man. He's had a really good first half.
Aston Villa have not had a shot on target in the game. Morgan Rogers back to Kamara, right-footed ball over the top looking for Watkins, but Mavropanos has that under control. Rogers tries to get onto his header, he's done well. Villa get it back. Tielemans, Cash on the right hand side, 10 yards inside the penalty area. Back to Kamara, he's got most of his outfield teammates in front of him here. Gives it low to the feet of Leon Bailey. Still well outside the penalty area, out by the sideline on the right hand side, gives it infield to Ezri Konza. He looks up, scans the horizon, chooses a short easy option to Tyrone Mings, into Amadou Onana, back to Konza again. 4 minutes being added on for stoppages here ahead of the break at Villa Park. West Ham scored early if you're just joining our coverage. Lucas Paqueta's goal. This is Kamara, brings play to a standstill just outside the West Ham United penalty area, and a West Ham player lunging in on him. Back to Tielemans, change of direction, back to Kamara again. Then Paqueta's had enough of this and he lunges in, but that might have been a mistake because now they try to get in behind him. Paqueta's recovered well against Cash and he's fouled by Cash, and that is a free kick to West Ham. Great industry energy by Lucas Paqueta there.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's very patient defending by West Ham, not being sucked into have one of your players jump out of the shape, staying in your shape, forcing Tielemans and Kamara to do something really special, waiting for that moment and then squeezing, and they're doing it very, very well. That's when Villa need more movement. The man on the ball's not got an option. You've got to give the man on the ball an option, at pace as well.
Well, for Graham Potter, this has been a very satisfactory first 45 minutes in charge. You know, it's very rare you get the sort of Arne Slot situation where you're coming into a team that actually was doing fine and you're hoping you can maybe keep the train going, maybe improve it slightly. This is coming into a team that they were worried is going to get sucked down towards the relegation zone of the Premier League. A dysfunctional West Ham side, and they've looked far more cohesive. I mean, you were chatting to Fletcher Kevinola before the game. There's a lot of talent, a lot of very good players in this West Ham team.
Yeah, and I can see, I mean, I can hear these Villa fans now. Hear these Villa fans as if to say, and you know what, it seems to be every time Tyrone Mings has the ball, he seems to want to play a pass, and then he doesn't play the pass, but the pass he wants to play is to Maatsen, and it's been on all game and he's refused it a lot.
Here's a ball over the top, Bailey who's fast sprinting after it, Kilman trying to keep up with him, Bailey to the byline, and it's taken away from him by the impressive young Saul. What a first half he's had. Oliver Scholes plays a little 1-2 with Lucas Paqueta. He looks like he's played 200 times for the first team. He's been so relaxed in that position, and a lot of the Villa attacks have come down the right hand side. But yes, there's an impatience with Villa fans towards their captain Tyrone Mings. They think he's too slow all the time. They want him to get things in motion a lot quicker, as a little chop flick pass by Somerville comes off, and then Scholes will receive it on his upper thigh on the far side of the pitch from his left hand side as West Ham come forward. Lucas Paqueta, the man whose early goal put West Ham United in front here. We're on the verge of half-time. We've played 3 minutes of stoppages. Edson Alvarez for West Ham. West Ham looking to finish this first half as they've begun it on the attack. Villa have had plenty possession in the meantime, but they've not been able to construct anything of a positive nature in terms of a shot towards Fabianski, as Kilman rolls it to Crescencio Somerville, the Championship Player of the Year with Leeds last season. Back to Mavropanos. This is all very controlled. Now he's going to go for the ambitious ball, too ambitious, too close to Matty Cash, and that returns possession to Aston Villa, and maybe chance for one more home side attack ahead of the break.
Yeah, Danny Ings is just trying to occupy those two centre halves, and Paqueta and Kudos just in behind him, taking up those nice positions just in case they get the ball in that 10 spot. They're really organised in this first half, West Ham, and Villa just don't have the answers. Not quite sure to go long, not quite sure to go quick through the middle. Not working for Villa.
And there goes the whistle for the break. It's Lucas Paqueta's goal after 9 minutes. That has given Graham Potter something to build on here. He's only taken over from Julian Lopetegui this week. His first game in charge, but the team head for the dressing rooms away from home, in front here, and Villa have got a task in their hands to get back into this one.
Yeah, they have got a task on that. Well, if they carry on playing like they did in the first half, they keep refusing the pass that I think is on. It's the obvious pass, but it's the right pass. Tyrone Mings has refused it a few times. Matty Cash has refused it a few times as well. West Ham have started this game assured and confident, and they're 1-up.
Well, Aston Villa were knocked out of the FA Cup last season by a fellow Premier League club, Chelsea. Are they going to go out to West Ham United here? We've got 45 minutes to go, but for now, Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1.
Dion, just a quick one before we let you go and get warm for a few minutes. I mean, I thought one of the big encouraging signs of the first half for West Ham was the communication between the new manager and the players. 2 or 3 times he had players come across to the touchline and have conversations. All seemed very natural, all seemed very calm. They all seemed on the same page.
Yeah, and every single time a player went down, whether it was a Villa player or a West Ham player, there's somebody in a white shirt or a Cloughton blue shirt over to Potter saying, what do you want now, what do you want to do now, and then nodding their head as they're running away from the manager, and then passing it on to the rest of the players. It seemed very organised the way they've set up, Fletch. It's like all the cogs are communicating to each other. If one left back goes back, then the left winger goes with him. It's just very, very well done. It's very Potter-like. He likes to defend like this, he likes to attack like this, and it's working so far.
Dion, go and get warm with Connor for a few minutes. Second half commentary to come from Villa Park. 1-0 to West Ham. Lucas Paqueta with a smartly taken goal. So far, so good for Graham Potter. Opening night has been a successful night to this point for the brand new West Ham United manager. One or two things that you're saying, Alex, is absolutely filled for Fulkrug. Totally starved of opportunities since he arrived. Desperate to impress the new manager, and now he's injured. Brutal stuff. Ian says great goal for West Ham. Potter and Paqueta performing perfectly. Right, the Bromley boss, Andy Woodman, is going to join us ahead of their game against Newcastle on Sunday. Really excited to speak to Andy. That's coming up after the 5 Live News with Carl Hartley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Darren. Donald Trump has avoided jail but will become the first US president to take office as a convicted felon. The president-elect has been sentenced after being found guilty of multiple charges of fraud. Our North America editor is Sarah Smith.
He was sentenced to an unconditional discharge, which means essentially there is no punishment. I mean, people get tougher sentences for speeding offences, to be honest. But it does mean that stain on Donald Trump's record of being a convicted felon will stay there. That is a situation which clearly deeply infuriates him, and he has vowed to appeal against this conviction as soon as he can.
Thousands of firefighters are continuing to try to contain 5 fires that have continued to devastate Los Angeles. 10 people are known to have died. That figure is expected to rise significantly. 3 teenagers have been arrested on suspicion of murder after a 17-year-old boy was stabbed at a bus station in Bedford. Thomas Taylor died after Wednesday's attack. A 17-year-old and 2 18-year-olds have been arrested. And 2 lynx, which were released illegally in the Highlands, have been caught. They were spotted in the same location as 2 other lynx, which were captured yesterday morning. Wildlife experts have condemned the release of the wildcats, calling it irresponsible.
The ultimate game of betrayal is back.
It's begun.
What have I just done?
Are you team faithful?
I'm a nice person.
Lying does make me feel a little bit sick.
Or team traitor?
I've got no trouble murdering anybody.
I'm already lying. I'm already doing a good job of that.
It's time to pick a side. The game is on. The new series of The Traitors.
I'm so excited.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports.
FA Cup kickoff with Darren Fletcher.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
One or two sports headlines for you from today. Jimmy Anderson's in talks with Lancashire about continuing to play for the county. He retired from Test cricket last summer as England's leading wicket taker. The defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan has withdrawn from the Masters on medical grounds. Neil Robertson will take his place. Great Britain and Ireland lead continental Europe 3.5, 1.5 after day one of golf's Team Cup in Abu Dhabi. And Novak Djokovic says he wants to focus on tennis after claiming in a magazine interview he'd been poisoned when detained in a Melbourne hotel. He was deported from Melbourne in 2022 after arriving without a vaccination against COVID-19. Djokovic going for an 11th Australian Open title. The tournament gets underway on Sunday. Right, back to the football and back to the FA Cup. 5 Live on Sunday afternoon, commentary of Newcastle against Bromley at 3 o'clock. It's going to be an historic day for Bromley after reaching round 3 for the first time. It's also their first ever competitive meeting with top division opposition. I'm delighted to say their manager, Andy Woodman, is with us on the programme. Andy, welcome along. I mean, this is going to be an historic day for the club and a great day for you and the players.
Yeah, good evening, Fletch. Yeah, it's going to be, like you say, a very historic moment for the football club. For us to get in the third round and then get a tie like this is phenomenal for many reasons. So we're really looking forward to it. And like I say, we just hope we can go out there and give a good account of ourselves.
We often ask questions at this point, how have the lads been? How are you feeling? But based on the fact that this is such a big day for the club, there must be a lot of people around the place who have been there for a long time who probably could never really dream about a day like this. This must have affected a lot of people connected to Bromley Football Club, not just the people who are going to be directly involved on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it really has sort of grabbed the attention. And like you say, there's some fans that have followed this football club from the Isthmian Premier League, they tell me, right the way up now to where we're a league club. And then now for them, some of these fans, you know, a lot of them older gentlemen, I just can't. They're blown away that we're playing Newcastle United at St James's Park. So it's a real good feeling around the town, and you know, I'm really chuffed I can put smiles on people's faces. I just hope I can continue that on Sunday.
I mean, I'm pretty sure as well that if you had your choice, this opposition would have been pretty high on the list. Absolutely.
I mean, look, I've made no secret of it. You know, my time at Newcastle was, you know, fantastic. I was blessed to be able to be a coach there. It's a fantastic football club. I've never made no secret of that, and a beautiful city and beautiful people. So I really wanted Newcastle for many reasons, and the other reason is I wanted my team and my staff and the fans to experience what I was fortunate enough to experience for 5 years. You know, a great atmosphere, a real good football, you know, city. And all of that. So it's a brilliant draw for me for many reasons.
I mean, this is a great season in general. You get promoted, now you're 12th. I mean, they've adapted so well to life as a League Two club. So, I mean, you must be really proud in general of the way that the squad's gone about its work this season. This, I suppose, in many ways is the icing on the cake. It's an opportunity to go and take your chance. I mean, who's to say it wouldn't be Bromley's day on Sunday? But, of course, the first port of call, I'm sure, was to consolidate and see how good you were going to be. Then this comes along and it's a bonus, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we've made sort of no secret, you know, in-house that, you know, to consolidate and make sure we're stable in this league is very, very important. And we're not there yet. You know, we can't get carried away, although we're sitting in a nice position. So that's great. And it's very important we achieve that first and foremost. The FA Cup, I mean, the romance and the magic of the FA Cup is brilliant, and it's something I've grown up on like many people. So, you know, this draw's phenomenal for many reasons, not only just financially for the club, but, you know, hopefully it's put Bromley on the map a little bit more, you know, as a Football League club now and a club in the third round. Hopefully that that can really put the name of Bromley Football Club out there a little bit more for everyone.
If we look at the backstory as well, it's only, 10 years since the club nearly went under, and Robin Stanton-Greaves came in and saved it, and then the journey's taken you to the Football League, and now this first ever game against top-flight opposition. I mean, 10 years sounds like a long time, but it's not really. I mean, this is a club that's gone from the brink to this wonderful occasion as a fully fledged Football League side on Sunday. It's been quite a journey.
It's been a phenomenal journey for the football club. I mean, I've lived in the area, so I've known this football club when it was in its depths of the lower leagues. And like you say, 10 years ago, it nearly went out of business. The chairman, Robin Stanton-Greaves, he come in, he's a local businessman, lives locally. He's a very passionate owner about the club and how we do things properly. And now we find ourselves not only in the league, but we're going to Newcastle. I had a chat with him earlier. He's very excited and very proud, and I'm chuffed. I've been able to sort of give him a day like he's going to have on Sunday.
Is there any brake pumping going on, or are you all just kind of taking it as it comes? Because often you get a situation where a team has the kind of success that you're having, which they've never had before, and then it's difficult to manage outside expectations. Is there any of that, or are you all just saying, look, let's just kind of see what this season's all about, and then we'll reassess? I mean, what's it like around the place? Because this is such rarefied air in general for you.
Yeah, I mean, probably a lot of it I caused myself, to be honest. Beginning of the season, I kind of sort of went on record of saying, look, we'll make the playoffs. And I think everyone thought I was crackers, my owner included. But we have to set a target. We have to set the bar high. I'm a believer of if you don't set the bar high and set yourself a target, well, then you're going to not hit anything. And if we fall short, we fall short. But so everyone's kind of jumped on board with that. And then we started getting a few bad results. And I could hear the murmurs and the rustles in the background. But we've got a really good squad of players, a real honest bunch that are really, overachieving in many ways. But really, in their heads, they're underachieving. They want to keep pushing and pushing. So I'm delighted with the group we've got, and I really hope they, like I say, they can go there Sunday. I don't want them to enjoy it. I want them to be professional, workmanlike. And I keep saying to them, look, the most important thing about the FA Cup is in history, there's one big team always goes out. It's the history of the FA Cup. It might not be us, but let's try and make it. Let's try and make sure that we're the ones that have the sort of history making on Sunday. And I say that with the utmost respect to Eddie, Jason, and the Newcastle Football Club.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we all love FA Cup third round weekend as much as we do. And of course, it's different now because there are no replays. So you've got 90 minutes, potentially extra time and penalties, but you will know by the end whether you're through or not. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Where are you with that?
Listen, I'm telling you one thing. If we get through at Newcastle, there's no better city to go out and celebrate, although I'm not sure the Newcastle fans are welcome if we managed to pull that off. Look, we'll know where we're at the end of the game. I've got a huge amount of friends up there that I'm going to see. That's going to be nice. My family are all going up. And, we're going to give it a real good go. We're going to have to really be patient. We're going to have to be solid. We're going to have all the luck in the world. The football gods have got to shine on us. We know that. But we have to go there with hope, and that's what we'll be doing.
And can we confirm then that if you pull it off, batten down the hatches, Bromley are on the way to the big market and you're going to have it large?
There's no better place to get a kebab than the big market, I can tell you that. I think you know that as well, Fletch. You know exactly what I'm talking.
Listen, mate, we wish you well. I mean, this is the stuff that dreams are made of. Enjoy the day. I know you will. Congratulations to get this far. And we wish you well for the rest of the season because this is a sensational story. And I really appreciate you finding some time to come and talk to us tonight.
Thank you very much. And thank everyone at TalkSport for all their support they've given us at Bromley Football Club and myself. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. Thanks, Andy.
Yes,
that's Andy Woodman. That's Andy Woodman, the Bromley manager. We wish them well against Newcastle on Sunday. He's happy with the 5 Live group as well as the TalkSport people as well. Top man, you can understand on a night like this why he's going to get the odd thing wrong here and there. Let's update the game at Adams Park. Wycombe cruising the last time I looked, Aaron Paul.
Yeah, still very much in cruise control. Darren, a hat-trick of changes from Pompey boss John Mousinho at half-time after his side's dismal first half, showing Dozzell, Towler and Schmidt all on Atkinson, Potts Watts and Archer off. So a goalkeeper subbed in there, which means that both sides have changed keepers after Shamal George went off injured in the first half. Wickham still ahead, courtesy of first half goals from Brandon Hanlon and Sonny Bradley. And with 5 places separating the sides, does this qualify for a cup upset, Darren? I'm not sure. Wickham 2, Portsmouth 0.
I'll let you decide. I'll let you pick it. I will go with you. Let's get back to Villa Park then. Conor McNamara, Dion Dublin, your commentary team. Lucas Paquetá's goal has West Ham 1 up heading into the second half. I mean, the reality is, Dion, Villa have got to be a whole lot better in the second half. I've seen them in recent weeks, and there's something missing. That zip, that spark.
Spark's the word, Fletch. That's the one. I think even the fans in the stadium, every time the fullbacks, the centre-halves get the ball, especially Tyrone Mings, they're on his back as if to say, pass the ball quicker, get it moving. But when you're playing against a side like West Ham tonight, who look very organised and they're all in their positions that they've been working on the training ground, if you move the ball slowly, it's easy to get into those positions. So move it quicker. Let's see how they are when you're going down the side. It's just too slow, everything they're doing.
It's a big 45 minutes for both managers. Villa don't want to exit the FA Cup at this stage, and what a big night it could be for Graham Potter if West Ham can get themselves in the hat for the 4th round. They're leading 1-0. Lucas Paquetá with the only goal of the game so far, and I'll hand you back to Conor.
Thanks very much, Darren. Looks like West Ham are going to make a half-time substitute here. Vladimir Sofal is getting ready to come on, a player who's only played in one FA Cup game that he's won in his career, Vladimir Sofal. And we're waiting to hear confirmation of who he will be replacing as Aston Villa get welcomed back out onto the field. Villa need to step it up a gear here. They won against Leicester the weekend, but they have been out of sorts. A team who did so well last season, getting up into the Champions League places. They've done well in that elite competition this campaign, but it is an extra toil, it is an extra addition to their workload, and perhaps it's on days like this in the FA Cup that comes to the fore. Can Villa find a second wind here? Can they first and foremost start creating a few chances here and put Lucas Fabianski under a bit of pressure, because he's not had a save to make yet in the game. So Crescencio Somerville, who was carrying a knock in the first half, he'd received treatment on 2 occasions. He's not come back out for the second half. Sofal on in place of him, and it looks like Aaron Wan-Bissaka's going to push forward into midfield, and Sofal is in at right back, his regular position. That's the way they're lining up for now. We'll see if they settle into that, but it does look like Wan-Bissaka's going to play a little bit pushed forward. Interesting, Oliver Scholes keeps his place on the left-hand side of defence, and he was one of West Ham's best players in the first half. There goes Unai Emery just walking down below us along the touchline, one of the last people out of the tunnel, and he reaches the dugout just at the moment when Tim Robinson blows the whistle to get this second half underway. So Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1. This is the Emirates FA Cup, live on the BBC. This is 5 Live tonight, this Friday evening at Villa Park. Konza rolls it back to Robin Olsen, dressed all in green. Villa, if you weren't listening in the first half, are wearing their special 150-year commemorative kit tonight. It's black shirts, white shorts, black socks. They look like the German team in Escape to Victory, if that's a cultural reference for anyone listening in. That's what, because there's no sponsor's logo, there's no name, just big, broad, white numbers on black shirts. Konza gives it short to Tyrone Mings. Mings, who was being urged by the Villa crowd in the first half to get it moving a bit quicker, to be a bit more direct. Let's see if he can add some zip to his pace. Again, he does this a lot, just touches the ball under his studs, has a few touches, rolls it off low, short to the right-hand side to Konza. And the choreography, the dancing motion of Unai Emery is back underway for the second half as he does his bit of line dancing down the edge of the technical area. Ball over the top for Cash to run after, but Kilman gets there first and he boots it out for a throw. Throw in to Villa, down near the corner flag. They attack on the right hand side. It is going to be a throw despite the efforts of Bailey to take a corner. So Matty Cash will take over the duties, and Villa attacking the Holt end. We'll give you a full rundown of the teams in just a moment. Cash takes the throw back to Ezri Konza. West Ham got very deep there, preparing to defend. Amadou Onana, Boubacar Kamara, Low ball to the feet of Bailey. It wasn't a good pass to Bailey. Difficult one for him to receive, and West Ham were able to nip in, but they can't fully clear. Bailey gets it back again. Back to Youri Tielemans, midway inside West Ham territory. Villa played from left to right. Tyrone Mings further out to his left-hand side to Ian Maatsen, who's yet to get going in the game. He's made a few runs, but he's not been found very frequently. Tielemans back in a central location again, and that pressure from West Ham continues to force Villa backwards. Rodgers can't get onto a through ball, and Villa have got to retreat back to the halfway line once again. So the way the teams line up, Robert Olsen in goal for Aston Villa, back four of Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings and Ian Maatsen. In midfield it's Amadou Onana, who came on for the injured Ross Barkley, alongside Boubacar Kamara. Then it's a line of three, Leon Bailey on the right, Morgan Rodgers on the left, Youri Tielemans in the middle as Kamara tries to send in a cross there and is blocked away. Ollie Watkins, the centre forward, has barely touched the ball tonight. As for the visitors, West Ham, Lucas Fabianski is the goalkeeper. At right back now, it is Vladimir Sofal. Then it's Mavropanos and Kilman with Oliver Scholes, the 19-year-old who's done well at left back. Souček alongside Alvarez in the middle of the midfield. Kudus and Paqueta with Wan-Bissaka playing in a midfield role. And Danny Ings, who came on for the injured Fulkrug, leading the line in attack. Paqueta with a touch. Danny Ings tries to flick it on. Onana with a touch for Villa. They get it back down to the back with Konsa, who skips away from the Mexican Edson Alvarez, who's playing in the FA Cup for the second time in his career. He's got good cup pedigree from his time in the Netherlands with Ajax. He won the Dutch Cup there. As the ball goes back to Robert Olsen away to our left-hand side, and Villa still trying to shift up a gear in their pursuit of West Ham United's lead at Villa Park. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, it's better from Villa so far. Much better. Body language is better, moving the ball a little bit quicker. Got to do it consistently though, because West Ham will just go into that shape again and wait for something to happen.
Kamara onto Cash, midway inside West Ham territory. Gives it back to Boubacar Kamara. Rodgers made himself available. Tielemans too. Plenty of Villa players patiently waiting for delivery to come to them, but someone's got to take the bull by the horns here. Kamara crossing position on the right hand side, tries to float it in towards Onana. It was missed by Kudus. Onana's able to flick it on to Maatsen, who I think tried to shoot from a wide acute angle, and he completely miscued it. It was a fresh air shot from Maatsen as he tried to let fly there, and Villa still wait for their first attempt on target.
Yeah, I wonder if he scored in training in the week like that, because he's got absolutely no chance of scoring there. He's I don't know, 2-3 yards in from the corner of the box, tries to strike it on the volley, wildly just gets off the side of his left foot and it just goes out harmlessly for a goal kick.
Yet to score for Villa, Ian Maatsen. No Premier League goals for Chelsea. He did get 2 goals in the Bundesliga last season when he was on loan at Dortmund, and he decided he was going to buy the ticket and try and win the lottery there, but it was going nowhere near his intended target.
I mean, Paqueta tonight has been absolutely outstanding. He's putting his body in the right place to get free kicks. He's making the right pass at the right time. He's got the goal as well. This time, long ball from Fabianski, and he's just put his body in front of Matty Cash and waited for the contact.
Kilman under pressure from Tielemans. Gives it back to goalkeeper Fabianski. There's more of a high press from Villa in this second half. They need to. They're chasing the game now. Trailing 1-0 at home as West Ham played through the press. Souček to Scholes. Here comes an attempted crossfield ball, and Wan-Bissaka was in acres of space. Had that got through to him, would have been in. However, Maatsen was able to cut it out, and Villa get it back.
Yes, Scholes, he's trying to play the right pass. He was probably one club too high, needed to go a club down to get the distance, and he just chose the wrong club. He's been outstanding so far, but Wan-Bissaka was in.
Fouled by Sofal and Morgan Rodgers, and that is going to be a free kick to Villa on the halfway line. Morgan Rodgers is making the 100th start of his club career. What a last 12 months he's had. You know, this time last year he still hadn't joined Aston Villa. He's now got a couple of England caps to his name, and he's one of the first names of the team sheet for Unai Emery. He's never scored an FA Cup goal in his career, Rodgers. Tonight will be quite the opportune moment to do that as Konsa goes along here looking for Matty Cash. He's got to be careful to be onside, and he's not. Flag immediately raised. No dilly-dally waiting, because of course we don't have VAR tonight, so there's no point in letting it play on thinking we'll go back and check the replays. There is no VAR, so the assistants do just almost refreshingly put the flag up when they think the player's offside.
Yeah, and we've just seen it on the screen. It was the right decision. Alert, the official there, fag straight up, put the ball down, get on with the game.
6 minutes played in the second half, still a long way to go. Villa hoping to force an equaliser here. If it was to be old square at 90 minutes, there are no FA Cup replays This time round it would be extra time and penalties tonight on this cold evening at Villa Park. Fabianski takes the free kick, high, swirling in the air. Paqueta wins a flick on, but out of his penalty area comes Olsen, and right-footed kicks it back towards the halfway line. Paqueta controlled that gracefully on his instep, just basically barred Scarles out of the way, so this is mine. And then from the halfway line plays a back pass all the way to Fabianski, wearing bright yellow, away to our right-hand side.
But that's exactly what I'm pretty sure Graham Potter's looking for, players like him to take charge of certain situations like that. Scarles under the ball, he just takes it on his foot, keeps the ball for his team, and just taking responsibility. Yeah,
you can always tell, Premier League level, if players try to delegate responsibility, and enough of them in a team do that, you'll always have misfiring outcomes. Here's Scarles. Scarles is a good attack towards the edge of the penalty area, but he couldn't quite find the pass into Edson Alvarez, who was his intended target. Rodgers has done really well here, skipping away from two challenges, but he's taken one touch too many, and he loses out to Thomas Souček. West Ham get it back again. Last touch off Bailey, goes out for a throw into the visitors. West Ham are showing some backbone here. Villa are trying to rally, trying to raise their game, but West Ham are matching them, and they still lead 1-0.
Absolutely. Listen, I think Villa have come out with a different attitude and they're looking better.
Good challenge from Tielemans, releasing Rodgers, running through the centre of the thing, tries to play and roll into the path of Ollie Watkins, and it just was anticipated well by Fabianski, and that was good goalkeeping. Villa definitely trying to improve here, but they're trying to start from a standing start here to get into a full flow, and they've yet to have a proper attempt on target.
I mean, it was a great run from Ollie Watkins there. I mean, and it was Mavropanos there that just knew that Ollie Watkins had got him behind him, and he just used his stature just to hold him off with his left arm to make sure he didn't get on the ball.
Bailey with an interception for Aston Villa. He's off away down the right wing. Now Oliver Scarles is back there trying to impede him. Bailey still with the ball, goes around Scarles really well into the penalty area. Bailey, this pass needs to be good to Rodgers, who was off balance. He was leaning back as he attempted a right-footed shot from the D of the penalty area. He's put it over the top. Disappointing end to what could have been a promising build-up.
Yeah, it's really good work from Bailey. He holds off Scarles, who comes back. He has to play the ball at pace to Rodgers, who's in the middle of the D. I think he maybe has more time than he thinks, tries to take it first time. If he takes a touch, he'll get a better connection. The ball's moving too fast towards him for him to take a first time strike. It wasn't on, he went high and wide.
Fabianski took his time over that restart, and the Holt end let him know all about it. Good touch by Bailey there onto Tielemans. Ball in field to Ollie Watkins, who's had a periphery role so far tonight. Rodgers runs into Souček, and West Ham get it back again. This is Danny Ings back at Villa Park tonight against his old club. Into Souček, up to Kudus, who had a good first half. We've already mentioned his name in the second period. And then Mavropanos and Kilman seem to hesitate for each other there, but they do eventually get the ball away. Sofal is fouled, and that's going to be a free kick to West Ham. They were relieved to hear that whistle. Free kick to the visitors, who still lead here by a goal to nil on what is Graham Potter's first game in charge of West Ham United. Back to Wickham against Portsmouth. This game started 15 minutes earlier than us tonight. Here's Aaron Paul.
Which means there's 18 minutes to go. Wickham 2, Pompey 0. Wickham leading through those two first half goals. And Connor, all we've seen is Pompey just try and puff and break this Wickham backline down. But they are standing firm, Matt Bloomfield's side. Not really much to report, but some news coming out of the Championship tonight. And Plymouth Argyle have confirmed the appointment of Myron Muslich as the club's new head coach on a 3.5-year deal. He takes over after Wayne Rooney was sacked, and Muslich will be in the crowd ahead of tomorrow's FA Cup tie against Brentford, which is of course live on 5 Live from 3 o'clock. So Myron Muslich, the new man in the door at Plymouth Argyle. More on 72 Plus next week.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Both breaking news and promotion of podcast all in one report from an FA Cup game, which is very, very impressive. As Wickham in front there. Wickham, who 24 years ago reached an FA Cup semi-final. What have you spotted, Dion?
I mean, Fabianski, I mean, West Ham have got a corner here, but Fabianski's come right out of his goal to speak to Graham Potter's staff about something, but as Flex said as well, the information that's being sent on the pitches every 5 or 10 minutes.
Communication, such a strong part of Graham Potter's method. Now West Ham have got a corner here. Second goal, Villa will be in trouble. Here it comes, in from Sofal, bending towards the goalkeeper. Olsen got a touch, seemed to be impeded. Referee says play on. Tielemans is going to try and counter-attack here. West Ham had sent players forward. Edson Alvarez with a well-timed sliding tackle wins the ball back for the visitors, and here comes Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Tries to play a 1-2 with Kudos. Wan-Bissaka's taken down on the edge of the area, and that's a free kick to West Ham as the boos ring out around Villa Park. Still Villa 0, West Ham 1 on 5 Live in the FA Cup.
Yeah, Villa look rattled to me. I mean, there's a lot of sort of shoulders shrugging and sort of arms out wide as if to say what's going on here and why don't you do it or I'll do it. It's just not together at the moment. West Ham looking very, very good. Alvarez tracking back 30 yards, making a sliding tackle, and then they're off. And then Wan-Bissaka gets fouled, and West Ham have got a really good chance to put a good ball into a box here. Dangerous area, this one as well. And Scholes has gone over there. They must rate that left foot of his, by the way. He's taking everything. Yeah,
the fact that he's come into the team tonight, the teenager, first start, and he's taking corners, he's taking free kick. Well, he's certainly standing over this free kick. It might tempt Sofal as well. Just to confirm, Morgan Rogers was booked for that foul on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So that's another yellow card in the game. 57 minutes on the clock. Scholes and Sofal standing over. This is just outside the penalty area. Right hand side, dangerous position. It is going to be Scholes. Here it comes, in swinging towards Kilman and headed out by Matty Cash. It would have been a corner, but Cash was pushed by Kilman. So that is a free kick to Aston Villa inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, bit of a mismatch at the far post there when it comes to height. Kilman and Cash, but Cash stood firm, got fouled and did his job. Well, they can't keep fending off these balls coming in the box, Villa. They've got to start creating chances themselves.
5 Live from the BBC. BBC Sounds as well tonight. There are 11 FA Cup third round commentaries to listen to between now and Monday. Here comes Matty Cash over the halfway line on the right hand side for Villa, but Paqueta working hard, ensuring that he wouldn't have a clean run down that wing, and Cash was forced to check his run, and now Tielemans has run into trouble. Kudos has taken it away from him. Mohamed Kudos to the right hand side to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Good tracking back by Maatsen to try and get close to him. Wan-Bissaka spun away. Now he wants some support. Sofal is arriving, sends it across, that's in front of Alvarez and Ings. Alvarez is going to keep it in play on the left hand side. Paqueta, aware that Bailey was right behind him, spun away and gave it to Scholes. And West Ham are playing well, and I'm not sure if he would be watching, but if Julien Lopetegui from afar was watching this on TV, he kind of go, well, where was this attitude, where was this work rate in recent games? They're really trying tonight. Maybe much of it is that communication you mentioned there.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's just clear communication on the training ground, but the information here, we can see exactly what they're trying to do. When they're out of possession, they get into a good shape. When they are in possession, they move the ball. Or tonight, they've moved the ball very, very quickly.
Something that's impressed me, if one West Ham player makes a mistake, someone else immediately works hard to rectify it, to ensure there's no sustained damage. And that's that sort of teamwork that hasn't always been evident for this West Ham United side this campaign.
And some confidence as well. Every time they pass the ball, they're passing the ball with pace. They're backing their teammate to be able to control it under pressure or no pressure at all. They're all taking up really good positions. Kudos is in that number 10 role, hasn't moved all night from that number 10 role. Danny Ings is occupying the 2 centre halves and running in behind.
Last time that these sides met in the FA Cup, West Ham went on to win the competition, 1980, and that was the last time any team from outside the top flight won the FA Cup. And we speak about, do the managers take it seriously? Time and time again, you look at the winners of the FA Cup, it's always the big clubs, it's always the top flight teams who get through in May. This is Mavropanos, short to Sofal, short to Kudos, nice little flick, Sofal onto it again. West Ham playing with that confidence Dion mentioned. Has Wan-Bissaka playing out of position now, but doing well, helps it on to Sofal ahead of him. And then there's a foul by Maatsen, free kick to the visitors. Villa struggling to contain this West Ham team, who is still 1-0 in front.
Yeah, just going through the thirds, West Ham playing some really good football, knowing when to go long, knowing when to keep it short, and forcing those black shirts out of their shape, but very, very confident. Every single player in a white shirt wants the ball.
Graham Potter's got to be delighted. A lot of, scrutiny on him, returning to the game after that ill-fated spell at Chelsea. But he looks the part down there. Looks like he's enjoying it. Will he enjoy this as Villa come on the attack? Tielemans loses his footing. Keeps it moving on to Matty Cash, just outside the edge of the penalty area that Aston Villa are attacking. Villa attacking the whole end in this second period. We've half an hour to play of the regulation 90 minutes. Extra time if Villa were to get an equaliser and the game was to finish level after 90. Here comes Kamara, 10 yards outside the penalty area on the right hand side. That's a good ball into the feet of Watkins. Can he turn like he did for England in the Euros against the Netherlands? But he can't get the shot away. This is Tielemans, edge of the penalty area again. Back out to Cash. It's all a bit slow and laboured. Everything is considered and thought about. There's very little instinctive happening for Villa here as Konza helps it on to Mings. West Ham are able to shift across as a unit and try and keep Villa at bay here. Rodgers gets a touch. Matson onto him again. West Ham still working hard as Wan-Bissaka ushers Villa back towards Tyrone Mings, ultimately back towards the centre circle, and Ezri Konsa once again. They'll try their luck down the right hand side. Boubacar Kamara onto Matty Cash, 15 yards from the byline. Paqueta back helping out the fullback Scholes. Cash trying to elude the Brazilian to find a little bit of space here. Camera back to Tielemans, and it's worked for West Ham because Villa back to the halfway line again. They'll come again. Ezri Konsa, Amadou Onana, now Tielemans. Villa keeping it moving here, seeing a lot more of the ball than West Ham, but it's West Ham who've got their noses in front of the scoreboard. Kamara's ball to Cash. Can he deliver the cross? Edson Alvarez slams into him with a challenge just outside the penalty area, and that is a corner to Aston Villa on the right hand side. Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1.
Yeah, you can just see that West Ham are not allowing that ball to be crossed. They're not allowing shots in dangerous areas. They're making sure that they're stopping the danger at source, whether it's right or left, and all the defenders are in great positions as well, just in case.
Corner's going to be taken by Leon Bailey. Right hand side as Aston Villa come forward in their black shirts tonight. Several Villa players have got in to stand on the goal line close to Fabianski. Here it comes from Bailey across the edge of the 6-yard box, just missed by Tyrone Mings. Sits up from Matson, but he can't get a shot away. He'll play it back out to the right hand side to Bailey, who had taken the corner. Bailey, Tielemans in the area, tries to cross, and another well-timed sliding challenge from Alvarez. He's having a very good game, puts it out for a corner to Aston Villa. They're appealing that Alvarez, when he slid in, might have handled the ball. Remember, no VAR. The referee's decision is corner, no penalty.
And you know what? It's not a bad decision as well. It's nice football actually from Villa. Let's have a look here now. It's off his studs onto his hand. Yes, it does hit his hand, but it's off his studs.
And he's landing onto the ground.
Absolutely, he's never going to get that.
So, corner to Villa. It shows the desperation of Villa. They'll appeal for anything now. 1-0 at home. As it stands, Villa going out of the FA Cup in the third round. Bailey waves his right arm as a signal, sends in a low delivery, easily met by Scholes, follow up by Matson, shot that was going on target, but it hit a defender, and it's ricocheted for Kudos, who runs off like a dolphin at SeaWorld, balancing the ball on his nose there as he ran over the halfway line, and he thought he was fouled, but the referee says no. Fair challenge, Matty Cash. We got a cup tie now. This is all raised up a gear. Poor ball by Tielemans. Groans from the Villa fans. Scholes gets it back again. Villa are trying to ask questions, but West Ham so far under new coach Graham Potter have got the answers.
Yeah, they are trying to ask the questions now, Villa, but the pass that they want to play is the correct one, and that time Tielemans has got to put it beyond Bailey. Don't try and play it to his feet, play it for him over the fullback set and let him get into that space. Really poor pass. They had something going there, and that's happened 2 or 3 times for Villa tonight.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka plays it forward. Edson Alvarez found himself as the furthest forward West Ham player there, but he was beaten to it by Tyrone Mings. Villa give it to Matty Cash on the right hand side. Villa, who only made 3 changes from the team that beat Leicester here on Saturday in the Premier League. Konza into midfield to Amadou Onana, who came on in the first half for the injured Ross Barkley. Back to Konza again. He's become the pivot. He's become the quarterback, if you like. Mings was doing that role a lot in the first half, but it was too slow, and now they're trying to get Konza to be the man who brings it out from the back. But once again, Villa lose possession inside West Ham territory. Edson Alvarez rolls it out to the right hand side to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Sofalgo's overlapping beyond him. West Ham playing with 2 right backs on that right hand side, and they're combining well so far. Infield now they come to Souček, across to Kilman. Bailey goes in to press him. Kilman nearly losing it, but he was able to flick it into the path of Oliver Scholes, and West Ham hold on to possession. The goal scorer Paqueta, long sleeves and gloves tonight for the former Lyon man. West Ham have it back with the 2 central defenders, Kilman, Mavropanos, Now Alvarez gets involved. They're spraying it around here. They're making Villa chase the ball. As Sofal, the half-time substitute, runs into Kamara and loses the ball here. And this is a chance for Aston Villa. It's fallen for Ollie Watkins, and he picks out Bailey. Bailey shoots low. Good block by Kilman. Tielemans shoots in, but off target. He's appealing it took a touch. I don't think it did. It's a goal kick to West Ham. And just as West Ham were trying to control the game there, Villa nipped in and had an opportunity.
Yeah, they did. Half chances though, kind of nothing clear at all. Bailey took the first shot, got blocked. Tielemans took the second shot, and it actually did take a deflection. I think it was off Souček, off his heel. Referee didn't see it, and you just crack on with it. Referee's not got no VAR tonight, so referee's decision is final. I think this is an Emi Buendia situation. I think that's the one that could open the door for Villa, if anybody can.
They need something. Unai Emery's team. Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1. We are midway through the second half, and there's a whole group of replacements who've been called back from a warm-up jog. Buendia is one of them. Changes are coming, and it looks like multiple changes. Play continues. Matty Cash's possession for Aston Villa. Turns under pressure from Paqueta, gives it back to Ezri Konsa on the edge of the box. And back in turn to Robin Olsen, the Swedish goalkeeper who's deputising for Emi Martinez, who is here tonight. We saw him on the screen earlier on. He's watching on from the stands, the Argentinian. 67.5 minutes, the exact midway point of the second half. That's a good ball over the top. Cash sends in a low cross. Watkins can't quite get any power on a shot, and it's smothered by Fabianski, diving down on the edge of his 6-yard box. Villa are trying. It's not quite coming off yet, but they are trying.
No, they are, and they're playing the ball. Matty Cash seems to be the one down the right-hand side at the moment. Bailey, the two of them, trying to get as much as they possibly can into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins been starved tonight. He's had nothing to work with whatsoever.
This is Cash into Camara. That's a good ball for Bailey. Leon Bailey into the penalty area. Back to Tielemans. He shoots in. Well blocked though by Max Kilman, throwing his body on the deck and blocking the shot. Matsson's going to shoot. Saved by Fabianski. That's the best Villa shot today. He was a long way out, Matsson, and that's roused up the crowd now. And the Villa fans are beginning to make the noise as they try to come back from 1-0 down here in the FA Cup.
It's better. Much better. Two good strikes there. Blocks from West Ham players everywhere, throwing white shirts at these shots. Matsson gets through. It's a lovely save from Fabianski though, down by his right hand side, palms it wide, nearly goes out through a corner, but his defence are there to help him out. This is much better.
This is 5 Live at BBC Sounds, the FA Cup third round, under the Friday night lights at Villa Park as Matty Cash wins a corner. Villa are beginning to knock on the door now. They've just been leaning against the door to this point, but they're beginning to knock on it as they try to make this game 1-1. Leon Bailey places the ball to take the corner. Cross comes Tielemans to be close to him. Tielemans says, I'm going to have this, as he places the ball to send it right-footed. It's going to be an outswinger. 1-0, West Ham United lead. Tielemans raises his left arm as a signal to the teammates in the centre. Takes his time over this. There's a triple Villa change on the way. 3 substitutes are ready to come on here, as it's floated in by Yuri Tielemans towards the back post. Tyrone Mings, big and tall, tried to get there. He couldn't get a clean connection. Onana tries to swing it back in across the face of goal, but no bend on the end. Oh, it took a deflection. It took a deflection. It's going to be another corner to Aston Villa, who still trail 1-0 here.
Yeah, and I don't know why the West Ham players around the referee. He can't do anything about it. He's made his decision. You must know there's no VAR at all. He's seen something. He's given Villa another corner. I think they are. Oh no, they're not. They're not going to make these. There's 3 players here in black shirts waiting to come on for Villa.
Yes, they are preparing to bring on 3 players, but they'll wait until after the kick here. And the Djelkovic, the Serbian international, is getting ready. Emi Buendia and Jacob Ramsey. They're the 3 who Unai Emery wants to bring on in search of an equaliser. Bailey swings it in. Flick on by Mings. Chest it down. Matsson shoots. Save by Fabianski. It's in. Andre Onana pounces. The goalkeeper saved, but he couldn't gather. And when it spilled back off Lucas Fabianski, Andre Onana, the Belgian, or Amadou Onana, was there to score. The club record signing makes it 1-1 at Villa Park. And we've got 20 minutes to play.
Good play, from Villa. Really good play. Corner was off the training ground. This time Tyrone Mings going to the near post. It was hit to the near post. Tyrone Mings flicks it on. Onana sets it back for Maatsen. Maatsen hits the ball so cleanly with his left foot from the outside of the box. And Onana makes his way into the box just in case there's any bits. And there he is to poke it in 3 yards out. Off the keeper, off the defender. He was there first. He wanted it most. Now we've got a game on.
Fabianski will be disappointed. There was a little deflection just in front of him where it came off Souček first, and that's the reason Fabianski didn't hold it. So it's not a goalkeeping error, really. It's the best he could do in a strange situation. But then Amadou Onana, his 4th goal for Aston Villa, and they'll probably feel on this second half performance they deserve it, Leon.
Yes, for the last 10-12 minutes Villa have been much better. They've realised if they move the ball a bit quicker, if they miss out being slow and putting your foot on the ball, that's not working. What's going to work for us is get us the ball wide, get it into the box, give Ollie Watkins, Tielemans and Onana a chance to score goals, and now they're back in the game.
And the 3 substitutes have come on for Villa as well, so this was the plan. Well, they were 1-0 down, but Unai Emery's not altered that tactic. Buendia is on, Costa Nedeljkovic is on, the teenager. He made his Premier League debut against tonight's opponents at the start of this campaign. Not played too much in recent months. There's the goal scorer, Amadou Onana, rolls it back to Ezri Konsa, and it's a much more joyful mood here now. The players who went off were Matty Cash, Leon Bailey and Boubacar Kamara. So they're the players who have departed, as Villa, having come from 1-0 down, now want to go and win this. Maatsen, crossing position on the left-hand side, loses his footing as he tried to turn, and nothing fancy from Aaron Wan-Bissaka as he puts it out for a throw.
Yeah, he's done well tonight, Maatsen, down that left-hand side. Very, very positive, always trying to get in on the attacking phase of play. He's had a sight up before he actually hit the shot that led to the goal. Good strike through the ball with his laces, and it really tested the keeper. Now this is what Villa have got to do. I mean, West Ham have dominated this game, but Villa have come into it for the last 15 minutes.
West Ham, whose confidence will be fragile. Poor run of results, so the trapdoor opening underneath the legs of Julian Lopetegui. They've had a confidence boosting start to this game with Lucas Paqueta's early goal, but a relentless Villa performance has been able to drag it back to 1-1. Which way does it go now? Another corner to the home side. The whole tent expectantly waiting behind this. 5 Live at BBC Sounds at Villa Park on a freezing cold Friday night in January. Here comes the corner. Arm is raised, left hand in the air. Here it comes, high. Couple of players crash to the ground of the front post. Referee says play on. Paqueta dramatically falls at his knees, and the referee gives the whistle to West Ham. And as you can imagine, Villa aren't delighted with that. And there's no further scrutiny, no VAR. That decision stands.
He's very good at that, Paqueta, isn't he? Any contact at all. Listen, he's won free kicks tonight with no contact. He's won free kicks when he's, been brought down as well. But clever play there. Take the pressure off his team.
All part of the dark arts as Fabianski takes the free kick. Onana's able to beat Paqueta in the air. And this is Maatsen playing it back to his goalkeeper Olsen, away to our left-hand side. So the clock ticking on, just over a quarter of an hour of normal time to play here. If it stays 1-1, we'll have extra time tonight here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But one way or the other, we're getting a winner, even if it goes all the way to penalties. Here comes Buendia, good first touch to take him away from Souček. Rolls it in front of Watkins. First decent pass Watkins has had tonight. Left foot, drags it back in. Rodgers! 2 goals in the blink of an eye, and West Ham United's lead is gone. Villa have turned it around to lead 2-1. Morgan Rodgers has now scored 4 goals in the last 5 home games here. What a turnaround!
It's amazing when you use the ball. Pass the ball at pace. Tielemans passed the ball through the whole of the centre circle into Buendia. He opens his body out, he faces the play, he plays it for Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins goes into the box down the left-hand side for Villa, pings it across the box. Rodgers is there, across his man, straight in the back of the net. That's how you play football. Know your players, be positive, create chances.
7th goal of the season for Morgan Rogers. His first FA Cup goal of his career. Set up by Ollie Watkins, who for the first time had a pass to run onto there. The whole game he's received it with his back to goal with a central defender all over him. For the first time he could stretch his legs and run into the penalty area. And Watkins delivers the assist. And Morgan Rogers gratefully puts Aston Villa in front tonight for the first time. Aston Villa 2, West Ham 1. West Ham have made a change in the middle of all that. Aaron Cresswell has come on in place of the teenager Ollie Scholes. It's all over at Wycombe. Wycombe Portsmouth, Aaron Paul.
I'm going to call it a mini cup set. Wycombe Wanderers have knocked Portsmouth out of the FA Cup. First half goals from Brandon Hanlon and from Sonny Bradley see Matt Bloomfield's side through to round 4 after a game played in treacherous conditions. Wycombe 2, Pompey 0.
Thanks very much, Aaron. No treacherous conditions here, but it is very cold. There's no wind. There hasn't been any rain or hail or any of that kind of stuff as Tielemans plays it into the penalty area. Good leap by Kilman, an attempted shot by Buendia. He caught that nicely, but it hit a body in front of him. And then Villa under pressure here to hold on to the ball as Nedeljkovic was pursued by Lucas Paqueta, but the youngster did well. And then Paqueta goes down again and the referee blows the whistle, and it's going to be a free kick to West Ham. Nedeljkovic is appealing his innocence, and Konza comes across to the fourth official and says, how was that a free kick? As Paqueta picks himself up off the ground, and free kick is for the visitors. West Ham, who've been defending a lead for so long, now they're trying to chase a lead.
Yeah, they actually put themselves in a really bad predicament. West Ham, they just took their foot off the gas. They were playing all hell for leather when they had the ball, and then they were very composed out of possession. And it's just been turned around in the last 15-20 minutes. Villa have taken the foot on the gas. They know exactly what they have to do now. They've seen what West Ham want to do, and they've stopped every attack that West Ham have had. But there's only one goal in this, Connor, still wide open.
West Ham 7 points above the relegation zone in the Premier League. They had the lead tonight. Kudos is trying to get them back in it. He's crowded out of it though on the edge of the penalty area. There's wind in Aston Villa sails now as Rogers tries to pick out Watkins. Nearly found him. Oh, he has found him. Mistake by Mavropanos. Watkins attacks the area, pulls it back to Ramsey, and he's hit the post. Oh, that looked like it was going in. Watkins picks up the rebound unselfishly to Buendia, tries to backheel it to Watkins once again. Referee's blown the whistle for a foul, and so foul. That couldn't have been any closer. Ramsey, who's only been on the pitch a few minutes. Jacob Ramsey hitting the frame of the goal.
Some strike as well, by the way, but again Villa squeezing and closing down those defenders of West Ham, forcing them to play horrible passes and passes that aren't really on, but it's just the energy of Villa. It's so much better. Great work again from Ollie Watkins.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Aston Villa did not perform to the height of their powers in the first half. It was a disappointing 45 minutes from Unai Emery's team, but it's a sign of good management, good team play, that they've been able to keep their composure, to trust the process, to fight back first on level terms, then almost instantly to take the lead. And Graham Potter in his new job at West Ham just realising how difficult it's going to be, because West Ham haven't played particularly badly here, but this is slipping away from them unless they can turn it around with just over 10 minutes to go.
Absolutely, and you can hear the reaction of Villa Park. These Villa players need to get this stadium rocking, and they have done for this last 25 minutes, and they've nicked themselves a couple of goals, and they're in a brilliant situation now to take this game all the way into the fourth round.
Paqueta cleverly plays it off the shin pads of Kostin Nedeljkovic, and it goes out for a throw-in to West Ham. Aaron Cresswell, who scored a goal against Villa here a decade ago, back in 2015. He's been around a long time as Aaron Cresswell, still wearing West Ham's number 3. Tries to cross it in. Rogers did well to close him down, and Amadou Onana tries to bring the ball out, but Villa have given it away here. Paqueta wins possession back for West Ham, plays it to Sofal, over to Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. 10 men back behind the ball for Villa. Thomas Souček, poor ball in front of his international colleague Sofal, and that is a goal kick to Villa, and they have 9.5 minutes of normal time to play.
It's like we're watching the roles reversed here, because Villa just seem to have taken the initiative here. Those substitutions have made a huge difference. Emi Buendia's come in now and is pointing at players, telling them where to go and what to do. Jacob Ramsey's come on and made a huge difference as well by running with the ball. And Morgan Rogers now is up front with Ollie Watkins.
More live FA Cup football to come tomorrow, but we're not done here tonight. Rogers in front of Watkins, good recovery by Kilman, sprinting back into his own penalty area, getting there in the nick of time. But every time Villa win the ball now, they're rapidly turning it into counter-attacks. That's what they struggled to do for the first two-thirds of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, Morgan Rogers there, he's got to play a better pass into Ollie Watkins. He nicks the ball off Mavropanos. I'm just watching the replay. Nicks the ball off Mavropanos there. And he's got a ball into Ollie Watkins' feet. He's got to make sure that ball finds his centre forward. Gives the centre half too much of a carrot, and the centre half just gets there. But Ollie Watkins has been starved all night of chances. That was a perfect chance to get him one.
Now we've another delay in play here. There's been quite a few stoppages with players receiving treatment. Chance to remind you of what's coming up tomorrow. Bristol City Wolves, our pick of the lunchtime games on 5 Live. We'll bring you Brentford against Plymouth at 3 o'clock round the grounds with Ian Dennis. Leeds against Harrogate Town is the tea time game on 5 Live. On Sports Extra you can hear the Liverpool-Accrington game tomorrow and Manchester City against Salford. Both those games featuring giant clubs against clubs down the leagues, and you know it'll be a surprise if the lower league teams were to shock them, but if we do, if that does happen, there is the ability to switch and to follow those commentaries on 5 Live as well tomorrow. A reminder that the Women's Ashes starts in Sydney tomorrow night. England trying to win the multi-format series down under for the first time since 2014. Also in Australia, full coverage from Melbourne as the Australian Open starts. Can Andy Murray coach Novak Djokovic to a 25th Grand Slam title? Tennis breakfast live from Melbourne each day from 7 a.m. on 5 Live Sports Extra. And across tomorrow and Sunday there's a total of 39 hours of sport on Sports Extra, 12 different commentaries across cricket, football, rugby union, tennis and NFL. So there's an awful lot to go at, and certainly no shortage of choice there. It is Mavropanos who is the West Ham United player who is receiving treatment still as we await this game to resume. If you're tuning in for the closing stages of this game, West Ham in what is Graham Potter's first game in charge since taking over from Julian Lopetegui. They got off to a great start. Lucas Paqueta's goal after 9 minutes, but Villa, who trailed at the break, have turned it around in the second half. 2 quick-fire goals, Amadou Onana and Morgan Rogers, and Villa's Holt End now is where all the singing and joyous sounds are coming from, because they believe they're on the verge of the FA Cup 4th round. The draw, by the way, will take place Sunday after the Arsenal-Manchester United game, and you can watch that and listen to it across the BBC channels. Now, Mavropanos is going to have to be replaced here. Carlos Soler is getting ready to come on. Guilherme as well. They might as well go for it. This isn't the league. You're not just trying to snatch a draw and take a point. You've got to win to go through tonight. And Graham Potter in his first game in charge with a defender coming off, he's going to bring on 2 more attacking-minded players.
How many staff has he got down there, Graham Potter? There's about 6 people in black jackets, Betway on their back, all having a conversation. Mavropanos looks a little bit groggy.
Yes, Lopetegui's entire backroom staff went with him, I believe, so there'll be a lot of recruitment in the recent days. Graham Potter bringing in his team. Looks fit and healthy, looks like he's enjoyed his time out of the spotlight, and I'm sure there was plenty of compensation from Chelsea to be spent and enjoyed over the last 2 years or so, but he looks well. He's got to trim the beard, but still there, but he's trimmed it back
sharp,
a bit.
Doesn't he? Looks nice and sharp, looks in good condition. He's got a bit of a tan there, so he might have had a few holidays as well.
Yeah, bet he did.
But he's back at it, no holiday now, I'm afraid.
The lure of the job has dragged him back in. Headed by Buendia was on target. It was a tight angle and Fabianski made the save. Good delivery from Tielemans. Buendia's header saved by Fabianski. So Soler and Rodriguez came on, and the players who went off were Mavropanos and Alvarez. Alvarez, who I thought had a good game, but he's run his race tonight. So Guido Rodriguez and Carlos Soler on instead. Can West Ham make this 2-2, force this FA Cup tie into extra time? Here comes Nedeljkovic. Cross from the right-hand side was too low. Easily repelled. Out it goes for a throw into Villa on that right-hand side. The clock is ticking away and it's in Villa's favour now. 4.5 minutes of normal time to play. Nedeljkovic comes infield. Gives it back to Amadou Onana. There's instructions from Graham Potter there. He wants his team to push up a bit. Don't allow Villa come at them quite so easily. And here is a press as Soler tries to lunge in on Tielemans. Tielemans rolls it back to Robin Olsen, and they haven't been at their best tonight, Aston Villa, but you'd expect them to see this through now at home, closing stages, having played quite conservatively throughout. They should still have energy in the tank. They've made their changes too. This is Tielemans up towards Morgan Rogers, trying to release the front three. Ramsey was his target there, just couldn't get it past the last defender. Down goes Paqueta again, fouled by Amadou Onana. Another free kick for Lucas Paqueta, a free kick for West Ham.
Yeah, these Aston Villa midfield players now have got a bit of they've got to be in their bonnet about their West Ham counterparts getting the ball and turning. They're not allowing the West Ham players to turn and face their back four now. They're working really hard. They're on the shoulders of all those midfield players so they don't turn and cause their back four a problem. So much better positional play from Villa.
Just want to confirm it was the teenager Luis Guilherme who's come on, not Guido Rodriguez, into the midfield for West Ham. Here comes Aaron Wan-Bissaka, runs past a black balloon, reminiscent of the black shirts that Villa are wearing tonight. Wan-Bissaka tries to send it across towards Danny Ings. Konsa's there to police him. Onana's got to be careful on the edge of the box. Nedeljkovic onto Rodgers. Villa playing their way out of trouble, but they lose the ball eventually. West Ham get it back, and West Ham is seriously running out of time here. They need a big finish. 3 minutes of normal time to go. 5 live at BBC Sounds at Villa Park. Attempt by Guilherme to go around Ramsey, but he isn't able to do so. He gets the ball back again. Watkins is close to him, and then he thinks he's fouled. He is fouled. Free kick to the visitors, West Ham.
Yeah, don't give free kicks away, not at this stage of the game. You've got to make sure that don't give your opposition team a chance to put the ball in the box. I know it's a long way out, but every opportunity now at this stage, you want to get it as close to the opponent's goal as possible.
Feels like a long time since West Ham have had a big goal-scoring chance.
Yes, it does.
They had a lot of shots in the first half. They had sort of gone into hibernation, trying to hold on to the 1-goal lead. But now that they're 2-1 down, they've got to come out swinging punches again. This is Vladimir Sofal. Gives the ball over to Wan-Bissaka. Under pressure from Maatsen. He'll retreat back to Sofal once again. And West Ham are going to try their luck down the left-hand side. Souček to Aaron Cresswell. Cresswell's ball in field to Soler. They're holding on to it, but they're still inside their own half.
Yeah, this is where you've got to have good game management from your senior players there. Your Villa senior players, Konsa and Mings. Talk, organise.
Here's one of the senior players, Paqueta. Good ball into the penalty area. Kudos took it on his chest, but he wasn't able to get control of it. Amadou Onana took it away from him. This is Ramsey. Fresh legs haven't recently come on. Gives it to Ollie Watkins on the halfway line. Nothing fancy, sensible. Turns and rolls it back to Maatsen. Villa know the time is almost up. We've 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. There will be stoppages. It's been a game that has been held up here and there. But Aston Villa, as things stand, on their way into the draw for the 4th round. Impressive given that they didn't play well in the first half and they trailed 1-0 the break. Watkins allowed to turn, puts the ball in front of Nedeljkovic. He's into the penalty area, tries to return it into the middle, but it's cut out by Sofal. And West Ham have got to try and dig deep and look for energy here, as Kudos, that touch needed to be better. Amadou Onana able to regain the ball for Villa. Down goes Konsa, fouled by Kudos. Kudos is on a yellow, he's got to be careful. Free kick to Aston Villa, who are almost there. We're into the final minute of the 90 now.
Yes, they're nearly there, but it only takes one stray pass, and West Ham do break at pace, and they do commit players forward. I mean, there's one more chance in this game, Connor. There has to be, whether it's for Villa or for West Ham. There is another chance here, I know there is.
West Ham hoping it falls for them. Villa got to take their time over this free kick, no surprise in that. Lucas Paqueta putting West Ham in front, but goals from Amadou Onana and Morgan Rogers turning this around for Unai Emery's team. And Onana sticking as long as he dares. The referee's blown the whistle twice now, saying come on, get on with it. Still the free kick hasn't been taken. And now eventually it's rolled to Tielemans back into their own half as West Ham prepared to move into stoppage time here. The 4th official has got the red board, the FA Cup board out, about to tell us what is due to be added on here. Oh, that's a poor pass out of defence. Pounced upon by Paqueta. Kudos. Oh, we thought that was going to be the chance, but it was a ball along the edge of the penalty area as Souček and Ings had made darting runs into the box. The ball skirted behind them. Now it's been given away by Tielemans. 6 minutes have been added on. There is time for West Ham. And just a couple of careless mistakes there in recent minutes from Aston Villa have created a nervous atmosphere around Villa Park. Paqueta trying to hold on to possession. 3 defend. How did he keep it there? That's brilliant from Paqueta. Kudos onto Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Poor first touch from him. He looked tired there as he received the ball, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Ian Matson's able to clear it away, but only as far as Vladimir Sofal. West Ham will come again down the right hand side. Mohamed Kudus trying to turn on the edge of the area, gives it to Wan-Bissaka. Here comes the cross. Souček's header. Danny Ings. That was goal bound and blocked away by Morgan Rogers from a corner. Was that West Ham's last big chance? Danny Ings back at Villa Park, but found a defender in the way.
Yeah, black shirts flying everywhere as it's falling to Danny Ings. They know him too well. He is going to hit the target with this volley at the far post, and Rodgers is there to clear. They have a corner though, West Ham. They have a corner.
Big block from Morgan Rogers. Significant it was him back making it. Shows the work rate. Even the attacking players were back helping out the Villa defence there. We've played 90 seconds of the 6 minutes that have been added on. Cresswell to take the corner for West Ham from the left hand side, looking for an equaliser to bring us into extra time. Parried away by the goalkeeper. Further shoveled out of the box by Matson. Sofal will pick it up for West Ham. All their players are still forward. Cresswell's delivery is good. It's going to sit up here for Soler. Oh, and it was almost like he was thinking of leaving it for Wan-Bissaka. There was 2 West Ham players over it. Soler strikes and he puts it way over the top, and Villa breathe a sigh of relief.
Yes, they do. Cresswell on this left hand side. I mean, he's only had about 3 or 4 chances to cross, and he's crossed every single time. Put it on a sixpence for his teammates. They just can't get on the end of it. That one there, I'm thinking, hit the target. Rush their shot. West Ham are coming forward now, and they're really giving it a go for the last few minutes.
Carlos Soler, this is his first taste of the FA Cup. He won Copa del Rey in Spain with Valencia. He would love to progress further in this competition, but West Ham, as things stand, are on their way out. He's yet to score for West Ham, Soler, and he put that effort over the top. Is that to be the last chance for Graham Potter's team tonight, or what is Potter's first game in charge? Villa 2, West Ham 1, Villa having turned it all around in the second half. These 2 Premier League clubs up against each other. There is the feel of the FA Cup about it, the little feel of unexpected. There could still be a sprinkle of magic of this competition for West Ham. Sofal retreating under pressure from Buendia. Buendia hungry, gets in ahead of him and wins a throw-in for his team. Throw-in for Villa. You could bet your bottom dollar they'll take their time over this. In fact, out goes Luis Guilherme to play ball boy here, because he doesn't want any excuse for a delay in getting this ball back in play.
Yeah, Matson's not actually sprinting over there, is he? He's played well tonight, actually, Matson on the left-hand side, really well.
This is Matson in possession, and the ball goes out eventually for a throw into West Ham, but they're down the wrong end of the field from where they want to be. We are past the midway point of the 6 minutes that have been added on. Guilherme, young player, raw, not much first team experience. Danny Ings controls on his instinct. That's a good touch. Now Guilherme's got to get onto this. Kudos, crossfield ball. Aaron Cresswell, chance to shoot. Does he take it on? Deflected away by Nedeljkovic. He did take it on, Cresswell. It was a long way out, but he tried to slam it, and it comes off the Serb and out for a corner kick to West Ham, who aren't giving up here, 2-1 down.
Yeah, Cresswell was always going to take it on. He was about 15-20 yards out on the angle. Fancied himself, got blocked again with a similar situation. Cresswell with an outswing and out.
What a story that would have been. Aaron
Absolutely.
Cresswell turned 35 last month, the veteran of this West Ham team. If he could have come up with the late equaliser. 2 minutes of stoppages remain. Cresswell's corner, no height on it. Falls for Sofal on the edge of the box. Back out to Cresswell, asking him to do better this time. And it is better, but is it too close to the keeper? Olsen falls. Danny Ings over the top. He was off balance. It was bobbling. He never looked comfortable under it. But for a striker like Danny Ings, whose career has been made of finding the back of the net in such moments, that's a disappointment there. Is that going to be the last chance for West Ham?
Yeah, and West Ham wanted that to fall to Danny Ings as well. I mean, the keeper does get his hands on it, and he just cannot sort his feet out. Danny Ings has 2 very quick touches 8 yards out, and as he takes his third one, he gets closed down. He has to rush his shot. He goes over the bar, but well done to Villa. Marshalled it away. West Ham have really had a go though for the last 4 or 5 minutes. They really have.
Aston Villa on the verge of beating Graham Potter in his first game at West Ham. It's been a busy few days for Potter, back into the cut and thrust of things. And despite an improved performance in the first half, West Ham are heading for another defeat here. They have removed Julian Lopetegui. They have got 2 home games back-to-back after this. West Ham host Fulham. Then there's Crystal Palace going to the London Stadium. Potter will have had more time with these players in the training ground between those 2 games, as Villa here get a free kick, and we have got 20 seconds of the 6 minutes that were due to be added on to go. At the referee's discretion shortly. West Ham, who did have the lead here, but you've got to credit Villa for how they've been able to turn it around. Throw-in taken by Nedeljkovic towards Rodgers. Watkins beaten to the ball by Kilman. Then Buendia plays it in front of Ramsey, too far ahead of him. Fabianski comes out. Last chance saloon for West Ham. Fabianski pumps it long. That looked like a handball by Kudos, spotted by the official on the far side. That could be it. He did his best to control Kudos, but he handled it. And the referee blows the final whistle. And this is 3 defeats in a row for West Ham. The departure of Julian Lopetegui has not stopped the rot in that regard. In all of Lopetegui's time, he never lost 3 in a row. And West Ham, who've now only had 2 wins in their last 9 games in all competitions. But the story tonight is Aston Villa. Good courage, good resolve to come from trailing 1-0 down at half-time to win 2-1 in the end. And it's the first time in a decade that Villa have beaten a fellow Premier League club in the FA Cup. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I just believe that Villa, it took them a long time, but they realised that they have to play the ball quicker, they have to show more energy. Stop putting your studs on the ball and slowing the game, get the ball forward. Substitutions made a huge difference, and West Ham kind of ran out of steam and ideas in the end. An even game, but Villa, just with the quality in the end, just nicked it, deserved it as well, I think.
Aston Villa wearing their commemorative shirts tonight, the black shirts. Well, they've done that tradition and history proud. Now the Villa fans will go into the cold Midlands evening in very jovial spirits after this. They were worried at half-time, but Villa came back to beat a fellow top flight club for the first time since 2015. Last time that happened, Villa went on to reach the final. Full time here, Aston Villa 2, West Ham United 1.
Connor, thank you. Connor's got to leave us and go and do the interviews for Match of the Day, so he's off down to the tunnel. Dion, just a couple of minutes on the game. I mean, it felt to me as though Aston Villa needed that second half performance.
Yeah, they did. They needed more energy, Fletcher. It was really slow, and the fans were really on their back about getting the ball forward quicker, don't take so many touches, and they just did that in the second half. I thought the changes were outstanding. Buendia coming on made a huge difference. Nedeljkovic down the right-hand side, Jacob Ramsey as well. His stature and Morgan Rodgers. Yeah, it was just better. Energy, speed of pass. Ollie Watkins got into the game, and yeah, it was better. And I think West Ham kind of ran out of steam, to be honest with you.
What do you think Graham Potter will make of the first 90 minutes he's seen from his West Ham team?
I think he'll be happy. Well, when I first say first 90 minutes, he'll be happy with an hour. An hour of West Ham was very, very good. First off, they were very good, organised. Out of possession, they just looked very, very hard to break down. But when you do that, Fletch, and when you have a new manager come in, having been there myself, and you want to play a certain way, it is really draining. You want to come out your shape, but you've got to stay there. You want to go and squeeze, but you can't because the manager's told you to do a certain thing. It's going to take a bit of time for West Ham to get used to it. They did it great for about 60 minutes, and then West Ham's quality, Aston Villa's quality, just shown in the end. Get Ollie Watkins in the game, get Emi Buendia in the game, Tielemans, Rodgers. They were better, much better in the second half.
Dale, I've got to ask you about the Villa equaliser, because a corner was given. Tim Robinson, the referee, whether it was him, whether it was the assistant. I mean, the ball's nowhere near a West Ham player. It's gone behind for the corner. Villa take the corner and score from it. Obviously, VAR can't intervene in a situation like that, but it looked like a rank bad decision by the officials.
Yeah, and that's the situation that we're in, though, Fletch. You know, some people want it, some people don't. We haven't had it tonight. Sometimes you just have to go with what the referee sees, if it's right or if it's wrong. We're all going to make mistakes. It can't be that bad,
is the point I'm making. This is not a VAR thing. This is just bad officiating. You cannot be that bad
but
and
the thing
make
about
that
it
call.
Is, Fletch, I have been that bad as a player, and I have missed chances that I should have scored, and the whole tent have gone, rubbish, Dublin, should have done better. Sometimes you have to take it on the chin. You make a mistake, you get on with it, and we can't keep talking about bringing VAR in for everything and making sure we scientifically have a look at everything. He made a mistake. He probably knows he's made a mistake, Fletch, but he can't take it back.
Well, he
Crack
can't.
on, get on with
He can't. At West Ham are out of the FA Cup. I would think it's a different slant.
But
if
is it
you're in
down to that? Defend better then, Fletch. You know what I mean? It
Well,
can't be just down to the corner.
Okay, so we're okay with bad decisions now. This is quite a sea change.
No, we're okay with the referee not being a robot. We're okay with the referee making mistakes. Players make mistakes. Broadcasters make mistakes. You make mistakes, and if you make a mistake, you hold your hand up and say, "I'm sorry." But if it's a goal, that's a different thing, Fletch. I'm going, yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
He's missed that by quite a way, hasn't he?
Yeah,
quite
then the referee's made an absolute blunder. I hadn't seen that, Fletch, to be fair, until you'd actually told me right that second.
Yeah, they showed the replay from the other side. If you see it on the television,
Yeah,
I mean,
I hadn't seen that
just
at all.
goes straight out off the foot and straight out for a goal kick from the resulting corner they score.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, did the West Ham fans actually go to the referee and say no corner, no corner? I didn't see that. I've missed that. We have no replays here, so I hadn't seen that at all. So
yeah, it'd be interesting when you see it to get your opinion on it. Actually,
absolutely. Listen, I'll probably be outraged, if I was in the West Ham corner because he shouldn't have get it. He shouldn't get it that long. However, we all get things that long. And sometimes you got to hold your hand up and say, "I'm sorry."
Listen, me more than others, Dion, so I'm with you. It's been a good night. You've enjoyed it. You enjoyed Villa Park and Villa through.
I remember your mistake. Was it on a Tuesday in 1932? Just that one mistake.
Listen. If you go through any day that ends in a Y, you will find one, my friend. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you again tonight.
Thanks you, sir. I've enjoyed it.
Go and get yourself warm. Aston Villa are through. Big second half for Aston Villa, through 2-1 against West Ham.